Oh, wrong screen. There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, my Marimomies. Hello. Hello. I was like, nope, that's the overlay screen. We don't want that one. Hello. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. And for anyone who might be new here, hello, my name is Ashkariel. I'm the fallen angel of FSP's third generation, Lamentus. Why, yes, it did hurt when I fell from heaven. Perhaps you can heal this broken heart. Hello, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Hi, Ash. Hello, Suki. Welcome in. How you doing? Are we excited for our book recommendations? We want Small Momie, then Small Momie you shall have. Small Momie you shall have. There you go. Small Momie. In fact, I will also give you Big Momie. You will have all the Momies. All the Marimomies are here. All the Marimomies are here. There we go. Yeah. Small Momie, Big Momie. Everybody gets Momies. Everybody gets Momie. Everybody gets a Marimomie. But yeah. Are we excited for today's book recommendations? Are we excited? This is in honor of our birthday merch, in honor of our birthday bookmark, which is particularly awesome. I am very amped up because I did like think of, like I really did like sit down and go like, okay, like what would be some good book recommendations that I can give. I some of them are really obvious. Like some of them I'm like, well, like some of these are gonna be like, well, duh, right? How do I get rid of you? What are you? Didn't ask. There we go. I was like, what the fuck? Sorry, I got a little ad on Discord. I was like, what? Get out of here. Get out of here, ad on Discord. I'm trying to give the Marimomies an ad right now. It's like, what? Nonsense. What's my favorite book? Well, we'll get into my favorite. It's the first recommendation. We'll get into my favorite book in a little bit. You mean talking about Lord of the Rings for 3 hours? Yes, we are ready. Believe it or not, it is not on my recommended. I do recommend Lord of the Rings, of course, but it's not on my recommended. We actually won't be talking much about Lord of the Rings. Definitely not Dark Academia. That would be crazy. Wouldn't that be wacky? That would be wacky. Crazy even. Debbie, I am good. Thank you for asking. Also, Iona, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Marimomie flight training, by the way. I did catch that. Thank you so much. What a good Marimomie you are. Joining the flight training. Getting excited for some Menchie streams. Do you know Percy Jackson? I know of Percy Jackson. I have not read it or seen it. I know of it, but I am not too familiar with it. Crazy Dio indeed, Minsu. All the novels I've read are digital translation websites, so excited for something more bookish. Yeah! Can we recommend some? Yes, I will ask that you hold on to recommendations until towards the end of stream, because I'd like to go through them together. So I want to make it a little bit structured, so I'd like to hold on to recommendations until the end of stream. Yeah! Hello, Ari. Hello, Babel. Excited to add new titles to my list for when I get time to sit down and catch up on some reading? Heck yeah. Are we allowed to recommend nonfiction too? Of course. Yeah, like it doesn't have to be fiction. Everything I read in particular is typically fiction. But I have read some nonfiction stuff. Like, hang on, I guess we can, hang on. I guess I'll start with a bonus one. Hang on, let me grab it off the shelf. So there is some nonfiction stuff I read. I just tend to find it kind of dry, so I don't always read it. There is some good nonfiction though. on, I'm all tangled up in my cords here. There we go. There is some good nonfiction. One of the good nonfictions, it's a little dry, but A Brief History of Tea, The Extraordinary History of the World's Favorite Drink. This is by Roy Moxham. I don't have a photo of it to show on screen because I wasn't expecting to recommend this. But it is the dark history that brought us a nice cup of tea. It is a surprisingly dark story. And it is the story of where tea comes from. So it is the story of where tea comes from. It is like just reading the backstory here. Behind the wholesome image of the world's most popular drink lies a strangely murky and often violent past. When tea began to be imported into the West from China in the 17th century, its high price and heavy taxes made it an immediate target for smuggling and disputes at every level, culminating in an international incident like the notorious Boston Tea Party. So, like, it does go over, like, the Boston Tea Party. It goes over the weirdly, like, intense, like, fighting that happened over tea. Like, there was, like, a lot of smuggling of tea. Like a lot happens in this. It is a little, again, because it's, like, they're essentially trying to take what happened with the history of tea to where we are, from the beginning to where we are now, and trying to squish that down into a kind of breezy read. Like, it's not like too long. Hang on, let's see. It is about 240 pages long. It's not like a super long book. It's good though. It's not super long, and it's a little dry. It was the book I would read like as I was like, okay, I need to, like, I want to go to sleep. So this was like one of the books I would read as I was like on my way to sleep. Would you be open to reading donghua and or manga? Yeah, I would be. I mean, like, spoilers, like, we are going to talk about manga. But yeah, anyway, that's, yeah. For this list, I also did try to, nope, there's no exception to this. So for this list, I wanted to make it books that you can read physically, right? So I went out of my way to make sure that it was books you could read physically, because again, these recommendations are for our lovely bookmark that you can see over there, our lovely bookmark that you can get in our birthday merch. If you haven't gotten your hands on said birthday merch, what are you doing? What are you doing, Goofy? Go pick up some birthday merch. It comes with a lovely bookmark that you can get. It comes with a lovely bookmark that you can get. Comes with it comes with a adorable Marimomie plushie. If you are a big fan of Small Momie and Big Momie, you can get yourself a lovely little Marimomie plushie to use. That you can kind of hug while watching these streams, or maybe you can have as sort of back support while you're reading your books. The bookmark is perfect to keep track of where you are. You have the VPs if you'd like to listen to something. If you're more of a fan of audio than you are of, if you're more of an audio fan than a physical fan, which, to be fair, when it comes to most of my stories, I am too. I get you. Don't worry. But yeah, it's and we got our acrylic panels as well. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, those, go ahead and check that out. Hang on, I am trying to pull up the hang on. First Stage Productions. Let's see. I can't wait for the cushion on my bed for Big Momie. I'm really excited about I'm really excited for everyone to get their merch, because I am so, like, I know I'm probably sounding really distracted right now, but it's just because I'm trying to actively look up, like, I'm trying to actively look up the birthday merch. Oh, it's so cool. When you go to the FSP shop, I'm like the first person you see. Wow, what an honor. Hang on. So let me go ahead and I will drop the link to the birthday merch. And birthday merch. And oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Ignore that. Ignore that. I hit enter by accident. Birthday merch. There we go. Bam. And I will pin that. And I will also say that that's not the only merch that we have available right now, because we also have... Okay, again, we are going to hold off on recommendations until towards the end of stream. I did mention that earlier, but I know not everybody was here for that. So we are going to hold off on recommendations until the end of stream, because I would like a little bit of structure for today's stream. And then there's the April Fool's merch as well. The April Fool's merch, of course, absolutely stunning artwork. Absolutely stunning artwork by none other than our boy Shiki. Absolutely stunning 10 out of 10 artwork on Lamentus, and really all the boys. You have Gale doing the Avalon merch, Mlim doing the Ravenous merch, and then Shiki doing the Lamentus merch. Absolutely 10 out of 10. If you need more, if you enjoyed the birthday VP's audio voice packs and you need just a little bit more, just a dash of something more, then might I recommend the April Fool's VP. By the way, I am going to say, for anyone who is curious, no, it's not lore. It's just silly, happy, fun times. So the April Fool's Day voice pack is just kind of a silly. It's a silly one, right? It's obviously more of a silly, goofy haha, right? Silly, goofy haha. But yes, it is. And again, if you are going to pick up any merch, whether that's the birthday merch, any of the birthday merch, if that's Big Momie's, Marimomie cushion, the bookmark, the acrylic panel. I did see somebody in chat mention that they did pick up the acrylic panel. Yes, that's a good Marimomie. Or the VPs as well. Please do use the hashtag AshMerchiel, because we will be going through the AshMerchiel tag a little later this week to go through and see what everybody's thoughts are on the VP, as well as checking out some of the merch that people got recently of the debut merch, which finally arrived. So yeah, the lore is your god is always a little silly. It's true. I do be a little silly sometimes. I am on occasion a little silly, haha. But yeah. Also, don't forget, like, a good benefit to the cushion is it gives you something to kind of hug while watching these streams, you know? The group VP is immaculate, Ari. Thank you. Yes, that's true. There is a group VP in the April Fool's Day voice pack. Absolutely immaculate. Absolutely stunning. It's a 10 out of 10 VP. I highly recommend the VP there. Highly recommended. Comes at a big recommendation. I do highly recommend the group VP. I actually enjoyed the group VP. It was fun to listen to. Really? Prepare your ears. That is something I will give you guys a heads up for. Do prepare your ears. It is very loud. Premium, 5 stars, absolute cinema. That's what we love to see. Thank you, Minsu. I'm so glad to hear that. Good tea for Lamumus. Lamumus, if you're a Lamumu, if you're a Lamumu, yeah, 10 out of 10 do recommend. Oh my god, a green Karibo. Hilarious. I'm surprised you didn't write the script. You didn't write the script. It's very you. No, I did not. I think that did catch people off guard. Yeah, I did not write the script for that. That was not a script that I wrote. It was something that I was given, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. Whoever wrote it knew you well, very much so. I was like, damn, this is very me. Large gay. Cute Marimo? Yeah, he's a cute little Marimo. Marimomie. A little Marimomie. But yeah, I do recommend it. Also, yeah, like I said, when you guys pick up the birthday goods, I'll actually be able to see the photos of them on Twitter. So please do use the hashtag. You know, it's something that I'll say about like the physical merch that I am excited about. Is you guys know I don't really get to leave the asteroid often, right? I'm pretty frequently up here on the asteroid watching everything go down on Gaia, so I'm not usually around. So seeing like you guys bring the little standee around, right? That makes me happy because it's like, oh, we're going on little adventures together, you know? So that's something I love seeing. But yeah, so that is really, really fun to see. And it is like even with the cushion, right? Like it'd be nice to see the cushion run around and get out there, you know? The Marimomies Marimomies are usually stuck up here with me. So like, getting to see Marimomies like run around and be in the real world is going to be really fun, you know? So that's something that I'd love to see. So if you guys could, and you do get the cushion, if you are able to bring it with you to like any kind of adventure or con or something, you know, I'd love to see photos of what you and the Marimomie get up to, you know? We get to hang out, we get to hug our own Marimomie. Kya! Kya! How big is the cushion though? It is listed on the website. So hang on, let me pull that up for you. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, I can't find it now. I can't find it. Where is it? Ah, there we go. It is... Let's see. Ba-ba-ba. It's fairly big. Yeah. Like, it's fairly big. Faye, welcome in. How goes it? Also, Ash, can you tell my research paper to stop being so difficult? It's mean and not letting me write it. Faye's research paper, I will have you know that Faye needs to get to finish you up. So you're gonna have to get done. Post haste, please and thanks. I'm having trouble visualizing it. Is a cushion. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. Is a cushion. So yeah. Yeah, it's 300 millimeters by 230 millimeters. So yeah, like fairly big little cushion. It's almost like it's bigger than it's actually almost the size of small Momie now that I think about it. But yeah, it's something, just a nice little cushion for you to have. You know, it's gonna be cute. It's gonna be nice. But yeah. Anyway, the point is, I would love to see Luma. Hello, welcome back. I would love to see any sort of art that is not art. Sorry, I would love to see any photos of, you know, the Marimomie cushion out and about. Maybe Marimomie cushion with the acrylic panel if you guys have it, because then we can see adorable like Marimomies being bigger than me, which is kind of rare. Not often have I seen Marimomies bigger than me. My dog sometimes steals my bed, so I'm worried he'll snatch the pillow from me. Oh no! Make sure to keep the Marimomie up high. Buy two, one for the dog and one for yourself. Yes, that is something I would recommend. I would always recommend, you know, maybe getting two. One to a travel Marimomie and a home Marimomie. So you have two Marimomies. One goes on adventures and the other one is a hobbit. One stays at home. And yeah, another thing I'll say too, when it comes to the bookmarks, I mentioned this the other stream, but it's worth bearing repeating. The bookmarks aren't meant to replace the ones that Marimomies have made. One of the coolest things about the community is seeing how often people have made bookmarks, because that's something I had talked about in debut. So the the bookmarks are not a replacement for bookmarks you've made. It's, if anything, you could like just kind of use them together. They're meant to just be like just a cute addition to something that we've already been doing. So if you already have a bookmark, cool, but maybe you'd like a fancy shiny bookmark to go alongside your bookmark. You know, it's not really meant to replace it. I just thought like this would be awesome as merch and you guys would probably dig it. So I wanted to make something that I always try to make stuff that I think you guys will like genuinely use and enjoy, right? So the bookmark felt very appropriate. The cushion felt super appropriate because it gives you something to hug while watching streams, like how I hug Big Maomi, you know. But yeah, and also I will say it definitely does make I'm not the only one. I'll say that I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. Come here, come a little closer. I'm gonna let you in on a secret. I am not the only one who is excited to see Ashkariel reviews. You know? Mane-san likes to read them too. So you want to make Mane-san happy too, don't you? Because yeah, Mane-san is also a big fan of reading everybody's reviews. Yeah. Oh my gosh, scandalous. Yeah. Yeah, so it's one of those things where like they're also just as excited as we are to like see everybody's reactions. So it is something that, you know, like they do get excited for. And I'll say this too. I was acting a fool the whole time. I'll say this about merch. When it comes to merch, if you want to support like your Oshi, right? Getting merch, like being in streams is like, how do I put that? Like being in streams is like the #1 way to support your Oshi, right? Being in streams. You don't have to do anything. Just being in streams is like the #1 way to help your Oshi, right? Being in streams and just letting people know that the streams even exist, right? That is like the #1 way to help your Oshis. But another big way, Supas are very handy, but the biggest way is merch. Like if you love Yaoshi, merch is like the #1 way to support Yaoshi, right? Like that's how you support Yaoshi, right? And it's one of those things where like we, like the boys, I could tell you from experience, if there's one thing that I know they get hype about, it's when they see people out and about in the real world with the merch. Like that gets them hype, you know? And Minsu, thank you so much for the lovely offering to your new god. I did great at my midterm, so I decided to get myself a new manga, but Japanese. Also, your debut merch will arrive for me before festival day. I can bring you with me, yippee. What? By the way, get all the merch, y'all. Oh, Minsu, that makes me so happy. Take photos. I want to see. Are we going to have a festival date, Minsu? Oh my goodness. Congrats on your midterms. Congrats on the midterms, Minsu. Oh, I'm so proud of you, princess. That's great. Yay. Do VPs count as merch? Yes, VPs count as merch. VPs actually are like, arguably like, at least for me, I love seeing what people think of the VPs. Like that's what gets me super hype, you know? So yeah, VP merch is like, picking up the VP merch is like super helpful. Because that is, I think, you know, that's something I enjoy the most. Oh, goodbye. Bye-bye, B3. Bye-bye. Oh, definitely Ash cosplay comes along with the merch. Yeah, Mitsu, let's go. Yay. If you haven't seen it, Minsu did a very, very cool, actually like incredibly accurate cosplay of your god, and it was really cool. My sweet god Ash and the Marimomies, how are you all doing? Love you. Aw, Mama Angel. What you doing, Angel Cat? Welcome me in. Welcome me in. Hi, we're just getting started. We are just getting started. We've been yapping for a little bit. But pretty soon, I do want to get to the actual recommendations. I do want to actually get to the recommendation. Oh, another thing I'll say too. It is funny that the first time that there's a Lamentus like group VP is the April Fool's Day one. Cause like I normally tell you guys like, oh, we worked really hard on the VPs and you know, like it was something that we were like so excited about and we worked really hard on it. We like did multiple takes and tried our best to like make it, you know, the best it could be. Right. And when it comes to the April Fool's Day one, it's very April Fool's, right? Like I won't spoil what it is, but like it is funny that this is like the first one, right? But because normally when it comes to VPs, when I'm talking with Lamentus, like we're usually saying like, oh, I've done like multiple takes and I like really wanted to nail it. And like we're usually talking about like how much we poured into the VPs, because with the VPs, like we really want you guys to enjoy it and have fun, and we want it to be something that you can listen to again and again and again. So that is something that did carry over into the April Fool's Day VP. I'll say that. Like it is something that we did want you to listen to over and over again, but obviously like it's April Fool's Day, so it's pretty scuffed, you know. But when it comes to the birthday VP, I can tell you with certainty, that is something that I did multiple takes for, that I really wanted to nail, because not only is it, you know, important, not only is it our birthday VP, but also it is the first little hint at lore, right? This is like the first. I consider this like when it comes to like there is like a little hint of lore in the Valentine's Day VP, but when it comes to like the proper first step with lore stuff, like the first proper like canon entry, it's the birthday VP, right? Like the birthday VP is the first proper canon event, right? In the lore saga. All right, so that is something that if you are interested in me and my story, then I do recommend picking up the birthday VP. Highly recommended. And also pick yourself up some bookmarks. Pick yourself up multiple bookmarks. Give one to your buddy. Give one to your dog. Maybe your dog wants to read. You know, pick up some Marimomie plushies. You know, or plushies, cushions. Pick up some cushions for your Marimomies. You know, I don't know why I sounded like I forget her name from Bob's Burgers. Bob, it's a little pocket-sized Bob. Pick up a Marimomie, you know. Pick up a Marimomie. Pick up a Marimomie. Pick up a little you know. Pick up a little bookmark. Pick up a VP or an acrylic panel, you know. Or you can get all of it. You can get everything in the birthday VP for a bundled price, if that is something that you are interested in. I'll give my bookmark to my mom. Actually, she loves to read. Let's go. Let's go. That's what we're talking about, B. That's what we're talking about. Already got the whole set. Let's go. Let's go. I remember when they were hyping up like, hey, like Ash, this is what it looks like. I was like, oh, they're gonna freak. They're gonna love it, because it is something that I've been so amped about, and I'm so glad I finally get to talk about it. That said, remember how I have many secrets? Yeah. Do you remember how I've told you that I have so many secrets? And I was excited because the birthday merch meant that I could finally reveal one of those secrets. Well, I have had more secrets thrust upon me. So, yeah, I know more things now than I did before. So I have even more secrets, even more stuff that I know my Marimomies are going to be so excited about. So, yeah, I cannot wait. Yeah, I know. Oh, you know. Oh, you know. Yeah, I am very excited. Is that so? Yes, Kit, it's so. It is in fact so. Why are you telling us? Because I like to hold it over your head that I know things that you don't know, because I like to tease you. Keep your secrets, make me surprised. Oh, you know I will. I never spill the beans. I try my best to not be in Ashkariel, Holland. I'll tell you, like, oh, there's things coming that you can't know about. But, you know, there is a lot that I try to keep to myself. You hold a lot of things over my head. It's true. You are my desk. Most things do go on top of your head. This is the way of things. But yes, birthday merch, April Fool's Day merch. Lots of merch stuff. Holy cow, so much merch stuff. Also, before I forget, if you are going to be at SakuraCon this weekend, your god will be there, and I would absolutely love to get to spend some time with you. Is anybody going to SakuraCon? Is there anybody who will be going to SakuraCon? I'll be at the Offkai booth. I would love to see you there. I would love to get to talk with you a little bit. I don't know if anybody in amongst the Marimomies will be there. If you are going to be there, I would absolutely love to see you. Love to see you there. It's in Seattle. If there was more notice, I would have tried for it. It was very, yeah, it was very sudden. Now, mind you, I am not going to complain. I am very excited about it. But yeah, I was like, whoa, really? Hell yeah. Like, I was so surprised. I won't, but have fun to those that are going. Oh, it looks like a lot of the Marimomies here won't be able to go. I wish I could go, but I have university stuff. Oh, that's okay. University stuff comes first. Yeah. And Potachip, rising pop star sensation Potachip. Potad, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, and I'll say that it was funny. I had a little meeting. I think Lilo talked about it. We had our monthly meeting for Lamentus. Those meetings always go very long because we're usually just yapping. Most meetings go long for me because I tend to be a yapper. But I'll say I did get to see Shiki Inu. He's a good boy. That's a good dog. That's a good dog. That's a dog. Shiki Inu. I love that dog so much. It like Shiki Inu is so friggin' cute. Moogs, you hear that? You gonna take that? No, Moogston. The Moogster. Nah, she's number one. By the way, if you want a quick way into my heart, it's mention Mags. Have you seen K-pop before? I haven't actually seen K-pop. I've heard K-pop a bunch, but I haven't seen K-pop. I tuned into Shiki's stream yesterday just before he started a Bork storm. Oh, damn. He borking. Oh, he borking. But yeah, I haven't seen K-pop. I've heard K-pop. I will say there is art that I believe Destiny made the art of. Yes, Amber. I was just about to bring that up. Where it's me with Maggie, Kaylin with K-pop, and Shiki with Shiki Inu. And Kaylin is also being walked by Shiki, which is funny. It is the cutest art, and I was so happy because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Maggie. It's little Maggie. If you want the quickest way to my heart, it's draw Maggie. That's the quickest way into my heart. It's little Maggie. It's my dog. She's old, dude. She's so old. So Maggie is gonna be 16 this year. She's so old. She's an old lady. She's no longer Maggie. She's Miss May. So like every time I see her, I'm like, Miss May, right? And she's like, I like to think that Maggie's like a sophisticated old lady, you know? So I'm like, Miss May, what are you up to? Right? And she's like, she gives you that look of like, I'm what time is dinner again? I'm like, 4:30. She's like, what? I'm like, 4:30. She's like, oh, 4:30. Oh, okay, thank you. And I'm like, you're welcome, Max. She's just a little old lady. That's Maggie May. She's old enough for a driver's license pretty soon, yeah. Which is crazy. She's an old gal. She's an old gal. But yeah. Little Miss Maggie. Little Miss May. Little Miss May. I think I call her Miss May. Like, more than anything now. But yeah, Miss May. She's a silly poppy. Really love the photo you shared of Maggie. I was glad it was like a realization because I saw like Shiki Inu and I'm like, how'd you do that? And Shiki's like, oh, you just removed the background. So I was like, oh, duh. And so I did that and I was like, look, it's Miss May. She's goofy. She's actually probably snoozing somewhere on the asteroid right now. All that dog does now is sleep. All she does is sleep. What does your brother call Miss May? My Botanian brother? Well, he's back in Botania, so he doesn't see Miss May. She lives with me. They're back in Botania, so usually when he sees Miss May, it's Moog. He calls her Moog. Shiki Inu's name is Maggie? No, those are different dogs. There's Shiki Inu is one dog, and then my dog's name is Maggie. Different dogs. Two different dogs. We finally get to see what she looks like. Cute old gal. She is a cute old gal. I am a fan. I am a fan. Eepy Poppy. Yeah, she's constantly sleeping. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry, Andrew. Don't be sorry. No. I'll give you a big hug. No sorry. No sorry. She's very fua. She is very fua. Old dogs are the sweetest. She's been around, seen it all. But she still acts like a puppy, like so often. If she sees a dog walking past the house, she used to bark like crazy. Now she just growls until it leaves. Like she'll just... Like I'll just hear like... It's like, Miss May, right? And then she'll keep growling. I'm like, first of all, it's so rare we see a dog being walked through space. Like, how dare? Exactly, how dare? I'm like, first of all, we don't often see dogs being walked in space. Right? It's not often. So how about we take a moment to appreciate the fact that there's a dog being walked in space? But also, like, can you chill out a little bit? They're just going on a walk, man. I shouldn't say that too loud. Well, because for Moogston, right? For Miss May, she's small, right? Well, the thing too is like, so when she was younger, if we were back in Botania and it snowed, she loved the snow. Right? Can you touch grass in space? No, but I do have a little garden area, so I'll sit there. That's how I touch grass, is I just sit in the garden, because, yeah, there's not much grass up here on the asteroid. But, you know, when we were back in Botania and it would snow, when she was a puppy, she loved it. She would jump head first into snowbanks like a dummy, right? And then she'd get stuck and you'd have to pull her out by her back legs, right? So... But the older she got, the less she liked, she didn't like snow anymore. She's like me. I can't stand the snow. It just reminds me of bad times. I hate the snow. And with Moog, she is not a fan of snow anymore. Like, she used to be, but not anymore. So she doesn't really get to, like, run around much in Botania. It's why I have her up here on the asteroid with me instead of back home in Botania, because like there's more space for her to run around and it doesn't snow. So, do you grow any food in your garden? Do I grow any food in the garden? Sometimes zucchini and cucumbers. You know, cucumbers, tomatoes, although I can't really eat the tomatoes. It's more for family. But yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. That's usually like, I usually leave that to Brokariel though. Brokariel is like, he's got a green thumb. He's better at that kind of thing. I like being around the plants. Obviously, I am the god of, like, you know, I am the god of all that is green and gray. And I was formerly the angel of the soil, so I do like watching things grow. Is it a big garden? Nah, it's small. It's not a big garden. They do live on a farm, though, so it is like the farm itself is big, but the garden is just like a little garden behind the house. The cold does stuff to old bones or desk legs. It's true. My mark is tomato. Wait, really? Really? Tomatoes? Tomatoes and we don't get along. Tomatoes upset my stomach. They're upsetty spaghetti on my stomach. Aw, Tree, that's cute. Tell them I said hello. I love tomatoes. I used to. I still do. But, like, I can't eat them anymore. It's unfortunate. Anyway. Shall we get started with book recommendations? I know I said that I wanted some structure to this, and I ended up going, like, 13 minutes over time. Books? Yeah, books. Would anybody like some books? Shall we get into our book recommendations? Okay, so I have separated these book recommendations into different categories, right? So we have novels, manga, comics, and then some bonus ones. So we're going to start with the novels first, all right? We're going to start with novels first, and I am going to start with my favorite book. As a recommendation, I'm going to recommend you my favorite book, but it's going to come with some caveats, and it's also going to block for Small Momie here. But the first book I am going to recommend to you is, drumroll, The Secret History, because of course it is. So this is a book by Donna Tartt. It features essentially, of course, that's an Ashkariel staple. Yes, these are some of my favorite characters. This is my favorite story. And it is very much my favorite genre of book, that being dark academia. It is, how do I explain it? So, The Secret History is about a group of classic students, who... This isn't a spoiler. Some people might think this is a spoiler. This is not a spoiler. This is literally the pitch of the book. So The Secret History is about this guy, Richard, who, what the fuck, Richard? So it's about Richard and Henry and the twins and Francis, my favorite character ever, Francis Abernathy, my favorite character ever. And it's about how they, is it a short story or a long story? It's a long story. Yeah, and so the book opens with this group of characters having killed another character named Bunny, right? Didn't they make a movie and it flopped to the point where Donna Tartt didn't write anything for 17 years? No, The Secret History has never been adapted into anything. Donna Tartt actually does not... Donna Tartt is one of my favorite authors because she does not fuck around with her material. Like, The Secret History has never been adapted into anything. Because, like, it's one of those stories where it's probably... It'd be difficult to tell as a movie because there's a little too much going on. Shout out to my girl Judy Poovy, the goat. Aren't the students based off real life students? Kind of. So, I will say, Desk-sama, though, I will say that Donna Tartt does take very long between books. Like, we're talking like 10 years between books. And the thing with Secret History is it is about a group of classical students who essentially murder another classmate, that being Bunny. And then the story goes back to explain what happened. Like, the opening line of the book is, "The snow in the mountains was melting, and Bunny had been dead for several weeks before we began to understand the gravity of our situation." Right? Like, that's how the story opens. It opens with you knowing that Bunny is dead. And then you go back and you find out how Richard ends up going to this, like, pretty prestigious school. How he becomes enamored with the secrets, the secret history, you know, how he becomes enamored with the classic students and their, like, kind of secret society and how they operate. And essentially, Richard is enamored by the idea of high education and the inherent elitism that comes with it, having been raised relatively poor and not being from this type of environment. He thrives being surrounded by these, like, rich kids with their deep philosophy and how they look down on the other students, how they don't see them as equal, you know. Enamored with Francis. Yes, Richard becomes enamored with most of them, but Francis is, of course, the one that we all adore the most. And these characters are awful. Like, this is where I have to add a major caveat to the Secret History. These are some of the most egotistical, self-centered, obnoxious, rude, mean-spirited characters you've probably ever come across. These characters are awful. They are just horrible people. And it is one of those, like, they are unbelievably pretentious. Can the book be read in Japanese? I think it can be read in Japanese. I'm pretty sure it's available in Japan. I'm fairly certain, because it is very popular. This is a very popular book. This is from the 90s, right? And this book would eventually kickstart the this book would eventually kickstart the Dark Academia, like, train, but not for a bit. It would come out in the 90s and it was very popular, but it didn't necessarily kickstart the wave of Dark Academia until my second recommendation comes. I gotta say, I would not be able to get through this book because of that, but I do love a good mystery. Well, the thing, so it's a reverse mystery, which I love. Like, you know inherently what happens to Bunny and who does it, but you don't know, like, why it happens for the longest, right? So you're told what happens, and then you go backwards, and then you are told, like, as things go. And I will say, if you're a big Greek mythology fan, you're also really gonna like Secret History because it's secretly Greek mythology. Appy, hello. Welcome in. Hi, Appy. And what I'll also say, too, is I think about this book almost once a day, specifically the ending, because there has never been an ending that has haunted me more than The Secret History. Like, The Secret History has an ending that, like, I get chills when I think about it. It is one of, like, the most haunting endings I can think of. I can't even get into it because it's massive fucking spoilers, but, like, it's one of the most haunting endings ever. Like, I think about this book daily, and I have thought about it daily since I read it a couple years ago. It is my favorite book, like start to finish, my favorite book. Ash, how did you come to know this book? Was it a recommendation from somebody? So I believe it or not, it was actually TikTok. I was kind of scrolling TikTok and I kept seeing these, like, images of, like, Oxford and, like, all these, like, old looking universities in, like, Scotland and the UK, and these, like, old architecture, and these people wearing these, like cardigans and, like, carrying all these books and wearing these big glasses. And I'm like, oh, that's my aesthetic. I didn't know other people dressed like that. Like, that's my aesthetic. That's crazy. I didn't realize, right? Like, you guys know I love my gothic style because, you know, I mean, look at me. But my second, like, typical fashion sense outside of like goth clothing is dark academia, and I had no idea that that was like an aesthetic. So I started getting recommended like this dark academia aesthetic pretty frequently. And also a little like modern fantasy clothing as well. But I started getting all these recommendations of this aesthetic, and I was like, oh, okay. And then people started mentioning The Secret History a lot in the comments, and I'm like, wait, is it an aesthetic or is it a genre? And it's both. So the aesthetic is one thing, the genre is something else. And dark academia does use the dark academia aesthetic in its genre, but dark academia as a genre is different to the aesthetic. Like, as an example, Harry Potter has dark academia aesthetics, but it is not a dark academia story. You understand? Like, it is not a dark academia story because it does not have the principles of dark academia in its narrative, right? Dark academia is typically stories involving higher education and the inherent elitism of higher education and how that can affect people and turn them into something dangerous, right? Like, it's usually a critique on higher education, and how that can be sort of seen as, like, usually involves secret societies, murder, right? And murder, mysteries, secret societies, and the elitism that comes with it. It is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. The internet likes to make anything into aesthetics that's as good as it is bad. Well, and that's just it, right? So when it comes to dark academia, I love the aesthetic, but people assume that, like, there's a lot of, okay, I'll say this. There is a lot of criticism for The Secret History. Like, when you look up The Secret History, I think, like, if you look it up on Google, hang on, I'm gonna Google it right now. I'm pretty sure if you look up The Secret History and you go to images, it is people are allowed to have this opinion. I'm never going to tell people, like, oh, you're wrong for your opinion. But yeah, if you look up The Secret History, yeah, it's one of the first images that pops up. It just says, fuck The Secret History, right? And it's like, The Secret History is not a good book, right? That's what it says. People are absolutely allowed to have that opinion. It's a little strong, a little bit of a strong opinion. But a lot of, like, there's people who do not like The Secret History. People find the genre of dark academia bad. And to me, that's like looking at something at a surface level and being like, because a lot of people's criticism of The Secret History and dark academia as a whole is that it glorifies the elitism of academia, right? Like, that it glorifies the elitism of it. And to me, I'm like, yes and no. Like, the bad ones do. There's a lot of dark academia that's not written very well that does glorify being an elite, being in a higher education, and looking down on those with lesser education, right? Like, that is a thing. And also, like, dark academia has some themes of, like, you'll notice, like, in The Secret History, they're all very of a certain complexion, right? Like, that's something you'll notice, right? Like, and that is inherent to the story. Like, that these characters are very elite in a way that is kind of gross, right? And that is something that the book does address, right? Like, that is something that a lot of like, that is something that I think a lot of the best dark academia stories will directly tackle. The portrayal isn't glorification, though. It depends on how it was portrayed, but showing something in and of itself is not just agreeing with it. Well, I'll say, like, Donna Tartt did go to a very prestigious school and met people that directly inspired the setting within of Hampton, right? So the students and the people she met directly inspired the characters within the book. And it's funny because, like, it's, to me, like, it is a direct call out of the elitism of that Donna saw while she was in school. And while it is beautiful, like there is a line in the story that's that describes beauty is terror, right? So to find something beautiful, it has to intimidate you. It has to be scary to you, because to find something beautiful, you have to be terrified of it, right? And that idea is very inherent within the secret history, and it's something that Donna does a great job at showing you. Like the story is deeply disturbing, but at the same time, like it's also very funny. Like the thing that makes them decide to kill Bunny is so fucking dumb, right? Like I will say, like there's many reasons why they have to kill Bunny. There is many reasons why they feel compelled to kill Bunny. But the reason that actively makes them decide that they're just done with him is so fucking dumb. Like, it's so fucking dumb. But it's like very funny, and like the characters are very funny. Like Francis, my favorite character, his introduction is one of the best introductions ever. Their escape plan they're all so dumb. Like but that's the point, right? Is that they think that they're these like that they're like these Greek mythological characters, and that they're holier than thou. And by the way, they're not like reincarnations of Greek mythology characters or anything like that. It's just that's how they see themselves, right? But then they're just a bunch of fucking sheltered rich kids that are like completely moronic, right? For as smart as they are, they're incredibly stupid. And there are characters that they look down on, that you as the reader are like, no, but they seem cool. Like there's a character called Judy, right? Judy Poovy, who, by the way, hang on, I forget, like, hang on, Judy Poovy is based on a real person. Hang on, I have to look up Judy Poovy, because I need you to know that Judy Poovy ends up going off to be, that's what it is. So Judy Poovy is based off a real person. Hang on. And yeah, so she Judy Poovy goes on to be a costume designer, and ends up winning an award for their work on Succession. Like the actual show Succession, right? Like that's like Judy Poovy is based off a real person who actually has won awards for their work. Like Judy is fucking awesome, man. Like if you've read the book, you know Judy, and Judy's the fucking best. I love Judy, right? Judy is awesome. And Judy Poovy, Judy Poovy. Judy's, well, because like Richard and Judy almost kind of have a thing. Like they're Richard's relationship with Judy is odd. His relationship with everybody is odd. And I will give you guys a heads up. There is a lot of trigger warnings to this book. If you find certain themes upsetting, you're probably going to find sections of this book problematic. There is sections of this book that are very triggering. There are sections of this book that are very problematic. So there is going to be stuff that you should maybe look up the trigger warnings for the secret history before you read it, because there is a lot to it that I don't necessarily want to spoil, because it is spoilers. But there is a lot to it that is intense. Almost, but Richard is an idiot. Richard is a moron. What triggers, for example? I can't tell you. It would spoil it. Like, I actually can't tell you. It's like a massive spoiler. Always look up triggers for Dark Academia. Dark Academia stories, know that if you read them, it is very likely to trigger something in you. Racial ones, there's a lot of homophobia. I'll say, like, Bunny drops the F slur, like, so fucking often in this book. Like, Bunny is a very shitty person. Bunny is a bigot, like, straight up. But what makes it worse, and this is the problem with the secret history, and if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about when I say that Bunny is an awful person. And yet, when he's on the page, you're fucking drawn to him. There's something about Bunny that's like, and that's what makes him a bad person, is there's something about Bunny that, like, you can't help but find him so fucking interesting. Right? Like, Bunny is one of those characters that you're, like, drawn to, even though he's horrible. I loved him before that dinner. I don't like when people say they love Bunny still after reading it. I'm like, no, Bunny's bad, right? Bunny's a bad person. But, oh, Oyasumi Anju. Thanks for recommending the wonderful book. I'll try to find it. It was great seeing Ash again tonight. Good night. Good night, Anju. Oyasumi. I guess I'll be pushing it further down the to be read. I will say, if you don't like those topics, you're not gonna like a lot of the books that I recommend. if you are like, and that's okay. You don't have to like the books that I recommend, right? But a lot of the books that I tend to recommend are usually pretty triggering. But that's because like I love this shit. But yeah, The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Please do check it out. It is a lot. It is a lot. But it's so good. Any other book recommendations to do an analysis with this one? Well, Tomoki, I'm glad you asked, because that actually brings us nicely to my second recommendation. My second book recommendation, my second novel recommendation is my second favorite book, sometimes my number one. The Secret History and this book tend to swap places a lot. My second recommendation is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. So, If We Were Villains is also a fucking banger. This is an amazing book. If you've ever read it, it is amazing. If We Were Villains is getting an adaptation, and I can't just stop. I can't even get into it. I'm so fucking excited, but I'm trying not to think about it. So If We Were Villains is a it's so hype. It's so I'm so excited for the adaptation. I hope it's good, because this one, so it's another mystery. It's another Dark Academia story. So The Secret History comes out and sets the groundwork for what a Dark Academia story is. If We Were Villains is essentially like if Secret History broke the dam, like if Secret History was the impact that sent, like, that cracked the dam. If We Were Villains is the thing that opens the floodgates, and just Dark Academia comes springing out of it. So it's The Secret History and If We Were Villains, right? If We Were Villains is very similar to The Secret History in a lot of ways, but is a little more tame in other ways. Like, The Secret History is not afraid to... The Secret History does not pull its punches. And If We Were Villains doesn't either. There's a lot that happens that's, like, kind of, like, a lot. But it still has very similar themes. So it still has the theme of going to an elite, prestigious school. The characters are all unbelievably pretentious, right? This time Richard is not the main character, but a bad guy. Richard is the name of a bad guy in this story. What is... Hang on, I have to look up the character. I have to look up the MC's name, because I feel bad I'm forgetting his name. So the Oliver, that's his name. So Oliver is the main character in this one. Richard is the name of, like, art. Richard is essentially... They do interesting things, because a lot of the tropes from The Secret History are brought over and then kind of shifted a little bit. So Richard in this story is kind of like Henry from The Secret History, but, like, more of a prick, which is impressive because Henry is kind of the worst. But yeah, Oliver is the main character. And something that they do in this is that I love is they give you, like, these little hang on, let me see if I wrote it down. I have my... Hang on, where... I might have written it down somewhere. Here we go. So they have... What I love about the If We Were Villains is that each of the characters fits into an archetype. So Oliver, the main character, is the sidekick. There's the hero, the tyrant, the temptress, the villain, the ingenue, and the chameleon. Right? So these character types, these tropes, fit into the overall narrative and kind of tell you who these characters are. And the reason why these characters are labeled as these things, right? It is because these, instead of being set in a Latin class, like, so the idea for The Secret History was that it was set in a classics course where they learned Latin and they learn about the classics, right? They learn about classic, like, Greek mythology and stuff like that. Whereas If We Were Villains is not about a classics course or like learning about ancient like civilizations or Latin or anything like that. If We Were Villains is actually set at an art school. And If We Were Villains is about the theater kids. If We Were Villains is basically a bunch of Shakespearean theater kids who become embroiled in a murder mystery. It's a reverse murder mystery. You are told right away that like in a flash forward, essentially like what happened, and then you have to work your way backwards. And it's a reverse murder mystery, but there's so many other mysteries that unravel around it. It's very hectic. Marimomie, thank you so much for a lovely offering to your new god. Being a dark academia lover with an ex named Richard is rough. I can imagine so. I can imagine so. For some reason, a lot of dark academia stories have a Richard. There's always a Richard in a dark academia story. But yes, so this one is about a group of Shakespeare students who become very involved with each other in ways that is very interesting. If you have ever been in theater or in any kind of acting, you'll know that like the way this book explores the dynamic between actor and character and how they can blend together and kind of become something dark, and how an actor can lose themselves in a character, how the lines between like, well, like these characters are dating, but obviously we're not dating, but then that suddenly starts to bleed together. Like it's very dark. Yeah, it's one of those things where like it is one of the most Black Swan is very there's similarities between the two for sure. I will say, yeah, it is definitely better than Black Swan. I like Black Swan though, but If We Were Villains is much better than Black Swan. Black Swan is good though. But yeah, If We Were Villains is essentially, yeah, like if you liked The Secret History, you're gonna love If We Were Villains, right? Because I know a lot of people who find The Secret History to be very dry, whereas If We Were Villains is like the opposite. If We Were Villains is like very juicy. There's a lot to sink your teeth into. It's more, the characters are more fun to read. Like they are, because the characters are bastards for sure, but they're like redeemable, right? Like well, except for a couple of them. But like the characters have more kindness in their hearts, I'll say, than like the characters in The Secret History. The Secret History characters are like purposely just fucking awful, right? Whereas If We Were Villains, like the characters are a little bit more redeemable. As someone who loves poetry and musical theater, I should give this book a chance. Yeah, it is very, if you love Shakespeare and poetry and theater and dark academia, this is completely up your alley. I love novels that are very psychology. It's funny you say that, because there's another dark academia story that's actually about psychology students. It's about like it's called This Is Where We End Things, and I also love that book, but I don't have it on my recommended. Just because This Is Where We End Things is a story that probably is a little better after you've read some dark academia, so you kind of know the genre. But yeah, This Is Where We End Things is also really good. It's about a group of Again, it's a murder mystery about a bunch of psychology students who essentially like run experiments on students in the general programs and how they look down on them and yada yada. It's very interesting. I haven't heard of that one. This Is Where We End Things is very good. It's very good. But that is not my third recommendation. My third recommendation when it comes to novels is the best mystery I have ever read. It is also a dark academia. It is also a dark academia story. This story is called In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife. This is the best. So this one is a straight up murder mystery. It is not a reverse murder mystery. It is a straight up murder mystery. And it is also a dark academia story. It is of the dark academia stories we have recommended today. It is, I think, the least like critical of the education system and more critical of the students involved. Right? It is not really like, it is a dark academia story, but it is mostly like one of those like, it is a dark academia story, but mostly in aesthetic. Like, but it is an incredibly good murder mystery. The characters in this are so good and so like, they're very like the characters are the things that like the characters are like the things that that dark academia was like made to get into. They're very cliquey. They're very like what are the students in this book? This is like a general studies course, right? Like these students don't really like have like a general focus. They're general studies students. Cade, and thank you for becoming a member of the Marimomie flight training. Welcome in, welcome in. But yeah, these are general studies. This is what I mean where I'm like, it's not as intense on the dark academia. This is like a general studies course. But it is interesting because they do kind of get into situations revolving around the school and how the school kind of binds these characters together in ways that they normally would never interact. Like these characters normally wouldn't have crossed paths, but like, and outside of it, they don't have much of a relationship. It's very interesting how like the school binds these characters together who normally wouldn't really fuck with each other like that. It's a very, I almost don't want to tell you too much about it. It's just, it's similar in vein to other, it's similar in vein to other dark academia stories where like you already know that a certain character is dead. You just don't know why or how. But in this case, you also don't know who, right? And so it is just a really fucking awesome book because like the brother of the deceased character is so fucking crazy and he's really cool in this. So the knife is important or the scissors important or both. You're just gonna have to find out. I can't tell you anything. Like the cover of the book is very funny because I do think it's funny that it's like, in my dreams I hold a knife and it's a pair of scissors. I've not read this in like 3 years, but the setting and the mystery aspect of it was really fantastic. I have never like, there were multiple points in this book where my jaw like hit the ground because like the amount of drama in this book, like my jaw hit the ground at several points. It is really, really, really good. Like this is one of my favorite books of all time. And if you just want like a good, like if you like the idea of dark academia, but you really just kind of want it as window dressing to a really good murder mystery, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. Like this is like, it's just c'est magnifique. It's so good. It's unbelievably good. And I can't even really talk about it much beyond just like, if you have enjoyed, like if you read The Secret History and If We Were Villains and you want something that's more focused on the mystery aspect than the dark academia aspect, or even if you'd rather just like jump into a good murder mystery, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife is really, really fucking good. And again, like another ending that really haunted me. Like, another ending that stuck with me where I was like, wait, what happened? Right? Like, it was like, I had to read it twice because I was like, I had to read the last chapter twice because I just couldn't believe what happened. It's so unbelievably good, and I cannot recommend this book enough. It comes highly recommended from me. Highly recommended from me. Have you read Murder on the Orient Express? It's a murder mystery too. I wonder how different the two are. Incredibly different. Murder on the Orient Express is... I love Murder on the Orient Express, but that's an Agatha Christie book. This is Agatha Christie is not Dark Academia. Agatha Christie is like... Agatha Christie books are great, and they are really good murder mysteries, but this is a very different kind of book to an Agatha Christie book. Like, they are technically the same genre. They are both murder mysteries, but they're very different books. Murder on the Orient Express is fucking awesome, though. That is another very solid book. The vibes are very different. Yeah, very, very different vibes between the two. Murder on the Orient Express, to me, at times, is almost kind of funny, right? Like, Agatha Christie is like pure mystery, not always Dark Academia, though. Exactly. Agatha Christie is like a genre. Yeah, Christie is a genre. You know, she's a genre. I find that book almost funny at points, mostly because Poirot, Hercule Poirot, I can't even fucking French right now. Hercule Poirot is just fucking goated. To this day, when people are like, who's the best fictional detective? And everyone always goes, Sherlock. And I'm like, fuck that. Poirot. My boy would run circles around Sherlock. That's my goat right there. Man, I feel bad. There's so many good classics I haven't read. My literature classics were big garbo. Well, like, to be fair, like, reading was something I found I grew to love later in life. And what also another big thing that I'll say is I am somebody who has difficulty reading when it's just words on a page, right? Like, I am somebody who does, like, find it a little dry. Like, I do find books pretty dry. So I typically will either listen to the audiobook of it. So I'll just kind of like sit, like I'll go somewhere on the asteroid and just sit, like usually in the hammock, and just kind of like look out at the stars and listen. And that's a good way to read for me. Or I'll read and I'll just kind of read a couple pages at a time, because I do have difficulty reading. As you could probably tell by how often I fuck up when you guys, send me a message. I wish we got classics in our school. I don't think there's anything wrong with discovering your, like, classics later. The classics are always going to be there. That's why they're called classics, I used to love reading as a kid. I had 200 plus read books when I was like 11, then I stopped counting. Oh, damn. You're more on the listening side? Yeah, Potet. I'm definitely more of like a listener. But yeah, and I think like, I think for me, like, it's just like, I've always had difficulty reading. Like, my brain wanders too much. Like, I start imagining, like, as an example, I have been reading the same book for so long. I didn't put it on my recommended just because I've been reading it for so long. Hang on. Bookshelf time. This is the second bookshelf grab of the episode. Episode of the stream. I've been reading the same book for, I think, almost 2 years. And that is a book called Babel by R.F. Kuang. I have been reading the same book for ages because I only read like a couple pages at a time. Right? And it is... So I guess I can recommend Babel in the sense of Babel is legitimately one of the smartest books I've ever read. It's a thick fucking book, though. It is a big book, and it's not very big printing. So, but it is about a character by the name of Robin. He is essentially brought to... It has the coolest fucking magic system I have ever seen in anything ever. It is like when people look, I'm not gonna come at any specific series. You guys can probably guess how I feel about it. But when it comes to magic schools, right? Dark Academia has a lot of magic schools, right? And when it comes to magic schools with the Dark Academia setting, I don't think any of them do it better than Babel, because I think a lot of them are just like, oh, Dark Academia is so fun and aesthetic. And it's like, no, that's not the point. The point isn't like Dark Academia is fun and whimsical because it's like you get drawn into a secret society. You all get to dress up all fancy. No. RF Kwong's like, no, fuck that. It's supposed to be horrible. Right? I'm like, yes, thank you. Right? It's supposed to be a bad time. Right? Like, you can get lost in the, like, aesthetic of it, but then something will happen to Robin that, like, snaps you back to reality and you're reminded why this is bad. Right? So the way the magic system works in Babel is there are these silver bars, right? With a word written in English on one side and then a word written in a different language on the other, right? And what happens is, like, so what happens is you read the word out loud in both languages and then you hold the silver bar. And the silver bar then begins to resonate with the two words, and the magic comes from the meaning lost in translation between the two words. So the translation isn't, like, obviously when you're translating a word, it's never going to be one-to-one, but like the idea of how the magic works is whatever comes out of, like, whatever is taken away from one word to the other is the, like, what is generated from that, right? There's certain rules, like there's certain words you're not allowed to translate because they can have, like, pretty intense ramifications on the world itself, and you can, like, essentially create a bomb by accident. And so, like, yeah, there's these students who are essentially brought in from other countries to Britain, to Oxford, to, like, learn how to create these bars and discover, like, meanings lost in different languages. And it sounds really cool until you realize that Richard is essentially this dude. I forget where Richard's from. Hang on, where is Richard from? Richard, I know Richard is from Canton. So Robin Smith. I started calling him Richard. He's not Richard. I started calling him Richard. His name is Robin. Robin is orphaned by cholera in Canton in 1828 and brought to London by the mysterious Professor Lovell. There, Robin trains for years in Latin, ancient Greek, and Chinese, all in preparation for the day he'll enroll in Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation, otherwise known as Babel. Right? So Robin is Chinese, right? Obviously, Robin is not his fucking name. They make him choose a different name, and essentially, like, the big thing with Babel is Robin really wants to fit in and really wants to be seen as a peer amongst these, like, incredibly intelligent people. Like, he is sort of, like, molded to be, like, I have to be very delicate with how I describe Babel, for the record, because, like, it's about the Brits and how they are using languages that are not theirs, and cultures that are not theirs, in order to gain influence and power in the world. I don't know. Yeah. There is a lot of very sensitive topics in Babel, and I'll say that. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about Babel. It's really good. You should read it. And it's why when people are like,
Oh, but Harry Potter is the best. Harry Potter's the best magic school. The magic school setting.
no, it's not. No, it is not. Not when Babel exists. It's funny how some people criticize R.F. Kuang for her educational background, but her books are literally a critique of those institutions. R.F. Kuang, like, is somebody where when I eventually read through, like, the Poppy War series, which I've been told I'll probably really like in some of her other projects as well, I have a feeling that Kuang will end up being, like, one of my favorite authors. Like, you'll love the Poppy War, Ash. There's a lot of books that, like, are on my, like, TBR. And, well, yeah, like, hang on. I loved the first. I haven't gotten to the other two. I've been told I will love the Poppy War. There's a lot of stuff that's on my, TBR. Kuang also wrote another book that a friend of mine was like, this is a really good book, but it's about a subject that you probably aren't crazy familiar with because I am not of this ethnicity. Yellowface. Yeah. So, like, a buddy of mine was like, you should read Yellowface. It's really good. And it might kind of open your eyes to some stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. Right. Like, so yeah, Yellowface is a book I want to read at some point. So yeah, a white author who steals an unpublished manuscript written by a more successful Asian American novelist who died in a freak accident and publishes this book as her own work. And a buddy of mine's like, read it. I was like, yeah. He's like, read it. Trust me. So I was like, okay. Yeah. He was like, she's unbelievably talented. You have to read this book. So I was like, okay. So I will have. By the way, she's only 29. That's crazy to me. She's written The Poppy War, Babel, Yellowface, and, like, multiple other books with future books in the works, and she's 29. That's crazy to me. So yeah, like, I have a feeling I will eventually be, like, a very big fan, but for right now, yeah. Her prose is so enjoyable. The way that Kuang writes is so fucking interesting. Yellowface was insane. I definitely need to read it. Like, my buddy was like, it's really fucking good. So I was like, okay, I'll have to check it out. Same with Poppy War is another big one. There's a lot of books on my TBR, to be honest. But yeah, these are the novels I can recommend for now. But that is not the only books that I have to recommend today. I do also have some books for people who maybe don't like, you're like me. It's difficult to get into reading books physically because it's a very dry medium, right? Like, so if you're like me and you need maybe some pretty pictures to distract you, some good art to go along with some good prose, well, why don't we go ahead and start by talking about manga. And I'm gonna start with the best fucking manga I've ever read. This fucking thing. Let's go ahead and start with Tokyo Ghoul by Sui Ishida. So Tokyo Ghoul is like, so it is technically a shonen series. I'll say that. Technically everything I'm recommending is shonen, sort of. Like, so with Tokyo Ghoul, it is a shonen series. But it is, like, is it not seinen? No, it's shonen. So everything that I'm recommending is shonen, but that's just because that's who the demographic was. But that's not typically who ends up reading Tokyo Ghoul, which I find very interesting. Published in a shonen magazine makes it a shonen. Exactly. So it's one of those things where, like, it's a very, like, that's surprising. It is and it's not, because at the end of the day, when you read the book, it is very obviously like, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a shonen series, because like it has a lot of like shonen tropes in it, you know, like power scaling, big fights, good versus evil, like plucky hero has to rise up and become the very best, like no one ever was. But the way it does that is so interesting. It's one of the most, like, Kaneki Ken is one of the most interesting protagonists in a manga I have ever read, because the journey that Kaneki goes through is bonkers. Like, it is so insane, and the manga is so much better. It really is. And like, that's not a knock on the anime. There's stuff about the anime that I really enjoy, but the manga is just like so incredibly good. And the art, like, every cover belongs in a museum. Like, every cover of this book is like, it should be hung up in the Smithsonian. It's so fucking pretty. Like, every single cover of this book is incredible. And even when you open the pages, like, Ishida's art is unbelievably good. They are unbelievably talented. And it deals with a lot of really interesting themes of like losing yourself and like becoming, like, being different in a world that doesn't understand and is scared of you, being persecuted for that, right? But also knowing like that you have these like kind of darker tendencies and this addiction that is hard to kick. And it's a very interesting story that deals with a lot of really dark subject matter without really going too heavy-handed into it. It has some of the most insane panels. I won't spoil necessarily what it is, but I don't want seeing, like, turning a page and just seeing "I don't want to die" scribbled on a notebook, like really like not a notebook, but scribbled on a letter, sorry. "I don't want to die" written in like in ink in like the most deranged way you've ever seen is like it was like one of the most haunting moments in a manga for me, and it also happens to be one of my favorite characters who wrote that. But yeah, it's one of those things where like it is, and it ends on a note that like is a real fucking downer ending, only to reveal, psych, that ain't how this book ends. Nah, you're getting Tokyo Ghoul Ray, which, you know, like is like the essentially the sequel series. But I'm counting them together here as like one thing, right? Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Ray, I'm gonna count as one singular book, because you kind of need Ray in order to finish the story. It was genuinely, even the genuinely nice and kind-hearted characters have darker sides that are explored in really interesting ways, though I've only really watched the anime. The anime has a really good soundtrack. The anime has a very good soundtrack. Yep. Please, the amount of times I get bamboozled in the manga, no character was... Nobody's safe in this book. No one is safe. I heavily disagree. Kit and Caboodle. Like, I love Ray. I think, like, Ray becomes messier, but that's also kind of like how a lot of shonen goes. Like, it's the same. I can say the same thing about any shonen series, that like as it goes on, it kind of becomes a little bit messier because there's so much going on. There's usually some big war that happens in every shonen series that like breaks out towards the end, and it's usually where the story kind of starts to become more about fighting, right? And there is a lot of characters that show up and are mostly just there to fight. But at the same time, I think Tokyo Ghoul, like, especially the ending is really sweet. I really love the ending. And, also Kaneki and Toka are a very interesting couple. I really like Kaneki and Toka a lot. But yeah, it's one of those things like you have to read Tokyo Ghoul. This isn't like a recommendation. This is, if you like manga, you have to read this. This is not up for debate. Okay, you don't like them, Minsu? You don't like Kaneki and Toka? That's crazy. You don't like them? I like them. Also, Hide! My boy Hide! My boy Shu! Like, don't get me started. Like, some of these characters are just like goated. It's one of those like Uta, like, yeah, there's a lot of really good characters in this. And again, I'm just throwing this out there. This is one of those like, if you like manga and you tell me you haven't read Tokyo Ghoul, it's the first thing I'm gonna recommend, because like it's one of those, you have to have read this. This is like, it's a recommendation, but also a like, what are you doing? But speaking of a book that like, that is a shonen series, but with a big asterisk beside it, is Blue Box. So Blue Box is an interesting one because Blue Box is actually a Jump series. So Blue Box is a Shonen Jump series that is essentially a romance, kind of like it's a romance series, but it's also a sports series, kind of, right? Like, it's very, Blue Box is about this kid Taiki, who is he plays badminton for school. He has a crush on this girl, Chisa, I believe. You guys know I'm terrible with names. Chisa, I believe. Or no, not Chisa. Chinatsu. Yeah, Chinatsu and Taiki. And it actually just got an anime adaptation recently. I didn't watch it. I don't really watch much anime these days. But like, I think it did get an anime adaptation. I mean, it looks very pretty. It looks like it held a lot of the art style, but I'll say that like a big part of Blue Box is just the art is so fucking good, and you should absolutely read it. Like, because the art is so unbelievably good. Yeah, Koji Miura does the artwork, and it is so unbelievably good. And the interesting thing about Blue Box is it's essentially a book about this. So usually when you see like a sports series, it's usually focused on one specific sport. Haikyuu is about volleyball. Free is about swimming. Blue Box is about badminton and basketball and gymnastics, right? It's about, so Blue Box is about three, it's technically about two characters, but it's kind of about three characters, right? Because Hina is another character who gets involved in this as well, and she's a childhood friend of Taiki and pretty tight with Chinatsu as well, Kano. Then there's also Kyo, who is also very tight with Taiki. What sport is Blue Box about? Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Right? Blue Box is 60% sports, 25% drama, and 15% romance. Because like it's one of those things where I think it perfectly blends a lot of genres together, because like it is a sports series, and yet I had never been so desperate for two characters to get together in my life, right? Like, so the idea is Taiki has a crush on Chinatsu. She is older than him, right? I think she's like a year or two older than him. Not by a whole lot. I know she's like in the grade above him, right? So she is his senpai, right? And he has like a big time crush on her, but he's never told her, right? And their moms are friends. Like, they find out that they don't know this right away. They find out that their moms were both friends back in the day. And the mom has to go away for work, but Chinatsu is like the star of the basketball team, so they can't lose her. she can't go with her mom because like that would fuck up her chances at getting into university on a scholarship. So they decide that they're going to leave Chinatsu with the Inomata family, which is Taiki's family. So suddenly, Taiki's crush is living in his fucking house. And normally this would result in like, whoa, wacky crazy. Whoa, oh, I'm gonna fall over top of you by accident. Whoa, whoa. None of that shit happens. None of that happens. It is not played up as like, oh, wacky, whoa. It's an excuse for these characters to be in the same space. Right? Like, it's just these characters are in the same space. It does devolve into drama sometimes because, like, some characters are like, why are you two walking the same way home? And, like, because they don't want to tell anybody at school that they're, like, living together because that could cause issues. The romance is refreshing and feels very natural. It is one of the most, like, normal, natural relationships I've seen. But there's also a lot of fucking drama in it because there's a fucking love triangle in it. There's kind of like a love square sometimes. There's character, but then there's also like this like shonen anime sports shit going on with Kengo, like Haryu, who's like the Kengo is like the older, like he's like the senpai. He's kind of like the daiki, right? Like he's like the like he's like the older like character who's like helping out our main protagonist, but like, you know, he's the third year, right? Like, so there's shit going on with him and it's like such intense drama and they do such a good job of like, so there's like love triangles going on, there's like sports anime shit going on, and it's just this like whirlwind of like this really good romance series and this really good sports series just colliding in the same story. And I think that's what makes Blue Box so popular, because here's the thing, Blue Box is not super popular over here, right? Like, I don't know too many people who read Blue Box in the West, at least not that I speak with. Not too many people I know are into Blue Box. It is so fucking popular in like in Japan. It is so fucking popular. Like, I remember going to Baruta and seeing Blue Box merch everywhere. Like, not everywhere, but like in areas that were very like Shonen Jump like specific, like in like areas that were catering to like that Shonen demographic. I saw Blue Box fucking everywhere. Right? Like, Blue Box is so popular. And I think it's like one of Jump's top 3 titles right now. I know people who dropped Blue Box because they wanted the romance right away and less drama. They are lost, if you ask me. I agree. It's one of those series where, like, yes, the romance is very good. Yes, you want to see Taiki and Chinatsu get together. But there's also, like, what's her name? Hang on, I gotta find her name. Is it Kido? Yeah, Kido, I think is her name. There's a character they introduce later who is Chinatsu's old friend who used to play basketball with her. This character sets the fucking series on fire for a bit because, like, this character introduces so much goddamn drama. And there's so much drama with Hina, and then there's so much drama with Kyo later, and then there's drama with Haryu, and Haryu is also in a relationship with this other girl, and their relationship is totally healthy and normal, and there's no drama with it, despite how much drama is in the series. You'd expect there to be drama with their relationship, but there's not. They were, like, weirdly wholesome, and it's just fucking awesome. Like, I just can't recommend it enough. I believe Blue Box is on chapter... Blue Box... you can read it on Viz. So it's part of that, like, subscription service that Viz has. So it's up to chapter 236 right now. So you can read it on Viz, but in order to read all the back issues of it, you would have to be subscribed to Viz. But the Viz subscription's, like, in my opinion, very fucking reasonable. I think it's like $3 or $4, and you get, like, this intense backlog of, like, not just Shonen Jump series, but other series that Viz publishes, and you get them, like, weekly. So yeah, like, I can't recommend Blue Box enough. It is so good. I think we're on volume Like, if you want to read it by volume, which is usually how I read things nowadays, if you want to read it by volume, we are on volume 19. So, especially if you are aware of how Shonen Jump works, to make it to volume 19 means something went really well. Something went very right. Because you typically don't make it that far. Most Shonen Jump series tend to be chopped at the knees at, like, issue 2 or 3. Right? Like, or not issue, volume 2 or 3. That you don't make it to 19 unless you're doing something right. And speaking of Jump, speaking of Shonen, my third recommendation is probably going to be so fucking obvious, and I'm assuming people already know what it is. I'm assuming everybody already knows what I'm about to recommend, but I'm gonna recommend it anyway because of course I am. Like, I'll say this too. If you like Fruits Basket, this is just Shonen Fruits Basket. Like, that's how I describe Blue Box to a lot of people, because I fucking love Fruits Basket. But I haven't read the manga for Fruits Basket, so Fruits Basket's not on here. I've only seen the anime for Fruits Basket. But if you do like Fruits Basket, this is just Shonen Fruits Basket. That's the easiest way I can describe it. It's Shonen Fruits Basket. But yeah. That's a very compelling pitch. It's Shonen Fruits Basket. Not in terms of, like, I don't necessarily mean that in terms of, like, I don't mean that in terms of, like, there's a family and they have a deep dark secret. I just mean that in terms of, like, it has Fruits Basket energy while being a shonen series. Like, I can't really, like, explain it any better than that. But yeah. Let's see here. Hang on, I want to check something before I move on to the next thing here. Oh, they did that thing. Okay, I hate when they do that. I just want to see, like, how many volumes it is. Okay, so a lot. So the next thing I'm going to recommend, it's the last manga. I tried to only do 3 per recommendation. The last recommendation is Dragon Ball. Duh. Duh. Obviously. Yeah. Fucking no shit. Well, I mean, yeah. Right? So, obviously, I'm recommending Dragon Ball because, of course, fucking the door. So, Dragon Ball is, of course, written by Akira Toriyama. I will say, Dragon Ball starts as one thing and ends as something completely different. I am actually, and this is my hottest take, I am not a big fan of the first couple volumes of Dragon Ball. Like, it's good, but I don't crazy love it because it hasn't aged the greatest, and it's just not what I go to Dragon Ball for at the beginning. Like, it takes a bit for Dragon Ball to become Dragon Ball, right? But Dragon Ball, you know, it starts off fine, right? Like, it starts off like, yeah, okay, like, it's a shonen series, right? Like, but it's not even like a shonen series. It's like a comedy gag manga at the beginning. Like, it's just kind of a silly, like, little gag manga type thing at the beginning. And then the first Tenkaichi Budokai happens. And then once you hit the Tenkaichi Budokai, that's when everything's different. Like, after the first martial arts tournament happens, everything is different after that. And, like, that's when the series picks up, and I love it. Every big trope that shonen has now is typically thanks to Dragon Ball. Like, Dragon Ball, and, like, obviously Dragon Ball comes from a long lineage of other series as well. Like, you could say the same thing about Fist of the North Star. You could say the same thing about Astro Boy. But Dragon Ball is where most modern stuff takes their inspiration from, is this. And you see those building blocks being built here, right? Like, you see, like, the typical shonen protagonist is built here. The way that most shonen series unravel is built here, right? Fist of the North Star. Hell yeah, Fist of the North Star. But that's Toriyama Sensei for you, Ash. Yeah, that's true. Toriyama is obviously no longer with us, and that is a massive loss. But Toriyama's work does live on in Dragon Ball Super, which is also very good. I really like Dragon Ball Super a lot. And that is being written by Toyotaro. If you don't know, Toyotaro is the artist who was handpicked to be the successor to Toriyama. And he is the one who was most, like, a lot of people are like, oh, the Moro arc is a Toriyama arc. And it is, and it's not. It's mostly a Toyotaro arc. Same thing with the Granola arc. It's like Toriyama has a hand in it. And I think Dragon Ball is always at its best when Toriyama is more heavily involved. But Toyotaro has taken the reins of Dragon Ball since and is doing a very good job. So I'm not necessarily really worried about Dragon Ball's future. If anything, I'm very excited about it. I'm surprised you didn't recommend JoJo's Part 4. I haven't read JoJo's Part 4. These are just books that I've read. Also, without Dragon Ball, we wouldn't have Yu Yu Hakusho. Without Dragon Ball, you wouldn't have a lot of things. Like, without Dragon Ball, you wouldn't have the big three. Without Dragon Ball, you wouldn't have, like, a fuck ton of series, right? Without the big three, you wouldn't have, like, Jujutsu Kaisen right now. You know? You wouldn't have Chainsaw Man and shit like that. And all of that links back to Dragon Ball, right? So it's one of those series where it's one of those series that gets better and better as it goes. And I think, like, while yes, the early parts of it haven't aged well, when I go back and read, like, where, like the Tenkaichi Budokai leading up to when, like, the Saiyan saga happens, up through the Frieza saga and the Cell saga, it's like, oh, this part has aged like fine wine. I love this bit, right? Obviously, stuff with Master Roshi is like, okay. But, like, it's still one of those series that has aged very well. The beginning has not, but the latter half of the series is, like, it's only gotten better with time. It is the grandfather, the grandfather of modern manga. I agree with Matt, or the godfather of modern manga. And it's still going. We've I think the manga's been on hiatus for, like, a little bit, but it's still ongoing. It obviously takes hiatuses here and there, but, like, yeah, the newest issue, or yeah, the newest volume cover is, like, just so fucking cool because it's Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, and Broly all in their, like, current powered up states, and they just look so fucking cool, right? Like, and it's so funny to look at, like, the most recent volume cover to this adorable cover of, like, Goku riding around on Shenron, right? Like, just how far the series has progressed has been insane. Are you excited for Dragon Ball Super Beerus? Yes, I am very, very excited. I am very, very excited. It's one of those series where I think Dragon Ball at the beginning is very much like a gag manga with a little bit of fighting, but once it flips and it's a martial arts manga with a lot of comedy in it, that's where it gets really fucking good. Because Dragon Ball is at its best when Toriyama's allowed to tell jokes and be silly while still having a lot of good action. And that's where the series is at its fucking best. And nobody does panel composition like Akira Toriyama. Fucking nobody. Nobody lets your eyes glide across a page like Akira Toriyama. The way that, like, the panels flow into each other, nobody does it like Toriyama. Nobody. There's never been anybody better. There hasn't been anybody since, and there never is going to be anybody who's better at it. Like, the way Toriyama's, like, lets your eyes glide across the page, like, nobody does it better. Nobody. Not a single fucking person. It's never been done better. It had never been done to that extent. It has never been done better since. Like, he is the GOAT for a reason. But it's not just manga. You guys know I am a big comic book guy. So I am going to recommend you some comics now, and we're going to start with, we're going to go in reverse order here. I'm going to start with Bam! I'm going to start with The Young Avengers. Style over substance, which is a funny title because that is a little true. So, The Young Avengers is a series that stars The Young Avengers, obviously, but this is not the original team. This is like a different team that Kieran Gillen and I'm trying to remember Jamie McLevy. Jamie McLevy does the art. Kieran Gillen is the writer. And this duo would later team up again on The Wicked and the Divine, which is a very critically acclaimed book, but this is where like things start, is with Young Avengers. The Wicked and the Divine is not like its own property. It's not like a Marvel or a DC property, but this is obviously a Marvel property. And this book stars my favorite, like one of my favorite, I say my favorite, but my favorite is you guys know my favorite Marvel character is Cyclops. But one of my favorite characters is Wiccan, Billy Batson. Billy Kaplan. Sorry, Billy Batson is Shazam. Billy Kaplan, Wiccan is my goat. I fucking love Billy. And so it does kind of, sort of have speed in it. Billy's twin. Like, Teddy is around, but not really, right? So this Young Avengers book is about Wiccan, his long-term boyfriend, Hulkling, Teddy. Oh, wait, now I'm forgetting. Hang on, now I'm getting the names mixed up. Hang on, hold on. Billy and Teddy. Oh, no, Teddy is wait, then what is Tommy, right? Yeah, Tommy is his brother. I'm getting the names mixed up. So Teddy is Hulkling. That is Billy's long-term boyfriend. Tommy is his brother. And they basically, Wiccan's powers start going kind of crazy, and they have to figure out why, and a bunch of crazy shit starts happening. Like, a bunch of crazy, like, extra-dimensional stuff starts going down, and it's a problem that, like, the Avengers can't deal with because it's affecting like a lot of the Avengers like minds, so the Avengers don't see the problem. So it's something that the Young Avengers have to reassemble and take on themselves. And so you have members of the OG team in Billy and Teddy and Kate, who is Hawkeye. So they are from the original team, but but the rest of the original team is not here. There is no Patriot. Stature is fucking dead, so she's not here. And I think that always throws people off because they're like, Stature, like Scott Lang's daughter. Yeah, Cassie's fucking dead. Cassie died, and it was brutal, and she's been dead for a while. I think they brought her back recently, but like they never did anything interesting with her after they brought her back. She's just dead. This was my introduction to the Young Avengers. This is like, I think, the best introduction to the Young Avengers because the old stuff is good, but this stuff is immaculate. And it also introduced the world to Kid Loki, which is pretty fucking cool. Kid Loki is literally Loki, but he has been reverted to a kid. It also stars Norvar, who is Captain Marvel, or I guess Kid Marvel in this. And Norvar is a fucking dork. Him and Kate have like a thing, but one of my favorite little moments is towards the end of the series where Kate realizes she's the only straight member of the team. And I was like, wow, that's hilarious. That's like being a member of any gen in FSP, right? Like, she's like, at some point, Kate's like, wait, am I the only straight one? And Miss America, right, is like, Kate, I've seen the way you look at me sometimes. You're not that straight. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. I love them. I think they're great. Actually, I don't think, hang on, let me check. I don't think like America Chavez and Kate get together. Hang on. I don't think they do. I'm pretty sure like they keep Kate being straight. How boring. But But yeah, they were like a very big like pairing. They were like a big fan favorite for a while. Because they really did like care about each other a tremendous deal. But yeah, I do want to see more like America and Kate doing stuff because they're just very cool. Oh yeah, America Chavez, if you don't know, she was in the MCU recently. It's a decent portrayal of America. It's like she's okay. Like she's all right. Like, but in this book, she's fucking awesome. Like she's so fucking cool in this. And because she literally just like punches reality and jumps through different dimensions and shit through these like shattered stars that she can jump through. She's just fucking cool. Like the whole book was my introduction to a lot of the Young Avengers. It was my introduction to a lot of like the more magic side of Marvel. Like this is, I think, where they explain Billy will become like the strongest character in Marvel. Hang on. Billy Maximoff, the Demiurge. So Billy is a character called Wiccan right now. Billy will eventually become something called the Demiurge, and that's something that they're playing with in this book, that you find out that like the Demiurge is like something that that is like the future for Billy. And he will be the strongest creature in all of Marvel Comics. Like that is who he will become because he's a weird magic baby that Wanda made with Vision. And Billy's just a fucking man. Billy is so goddamn cool. And right now they're still, so I will say, like right now, the last I saw Billy was he was with Teddy in outer space. Hulkling is currently in the comics. So Hulkling is not a Hulk. I know that's probably confusing. Hulkling is not a Hulk character per se. So he is a Skrull that shapeshifted into the Hulk because he thought it'd be easier for people to understand. So he is not technically a Hulk character, but he is like, Bruce like knows him. Like Bruce is like aware of Hulkling and likes Hulkling. Like he does consider Hulkling like part of the Hulk family, but Hulkling is a Skrull. He's also currently king of the Skrulls and is like an outer space like intergalactic king right now, and Billy is like his right hand, right? Billy is like his co-ruler, I guess. And yeah, that's where we left off with them. But yeah, no, you should read it. It's super cool. There's also a character in this called Prodigy, who is fucking awesome. He's a mutant. His mutant power is that his mutant power is essentially telepathy, but the way his telepathy works is if he can read your mind, but specifically he can copy you, right? So if you're really smart, he becomes as smart as you. If you're really skilled in hand-to-hand combat, he becomes as skilled as you are, right? But it only works in proximity. So he's a character who is perfect on a team, but the problem is that Prodigy is a fucking asshole, and he's really not good in a team setting, right? So it's like, oh, so his power makes him really good in a team, but he's a fuck dick, and he doesn't really work well in a team. And yeah, so, and I remember like reading this book. This book was, you'll never guess that this book was incredibly fucking popular on Tumblr back in the day. Tumblr loved Young Avengers. And Young Avengers loved Tumblr, right? They were one and the same, right? And I remember people would make song lists for Young Avengers. They would make like playlists for Young Avengers, and this was where I first heard of artists like this was the first there was one playlist I listened to, and it was the first time I had heard Marina and the Diamonds before, who would later become like Marina is fucking, goated, right? Like their music is insanely good. And this is also where I heard Tegan and Sarah for the first time. This is also where I heard the 1975 for the first time. this is where like a lot of that kicks off. Like this is where I first heard those groups before. And their sound kind of perfectly sums up Young Avengers. It's like Tegan and Sarah, Marina the Diamonds, 1975, like that kind of perfectly sums up this book and its vibe. So if you like kind of like, if you're a fan of like, you know, like kind of more meta storytelling, if you're a fan of like shippy Tumblr type era storytelling with superheroes in it, Young Avengers is perfect for you. Like 100% perfect. I was there when everyone was making fan themes for each Young Avengers member. Oh, it was the best. That was such a fun time. Lots of people I know were into Young Avengers, even though I wasn't. It's like a perfect, like I adored this book so much. Like there's a Tegan and Sarah song that I so heavily associate with this book. It's like, I'm not the hero, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't brave. I like, hang on, how does that, is it just hero? Hang on, Tegan and Sarah. Like Tegan and Sarah, is it just hero? Is that the song? Hang on. Oh, it's just I'm not your hero. Yeah, I'm not their hero, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't brave. I never walked the party line, doesn't mean that I was never afraid. Like it's such a like it's such a bop. I highly recommend Young Avengers. I just got here and the Young Avengers are on my screen, my babies. If you exactly like listen, if you were a Tumblr girly, you know the Young Avengers. These were everyone's babies. Everybody loved the Young Avengers. And it's so sad because the ending is so fucking heartbreaking with like, I don't want to spoil it, but there's just this shot of like, okay, my favorite version of Loki spawns out of this book. Like, not Kid Loki specifically, but like, hang on, Young Avengers. I forget what, like, is it like, it's not Kid Loki, but it's like this. Yeah, so it's this version of Loki that we get later where he's like, he's a teenager, like he's teenage Loki. I don't cosplay often. I cosplayed I did cosplay teenage Loki. Like this version of Loki is my fucking Loki with like the horn, like the way the helmets look. Like this was my Loki, right? Like this was my Loki. I loved this Loki, and he still kind of looks like this, to be honest. Like this Loki was so fucking popular that like this kind of became his main look. Like they did eventually, like the way like the horn looks was so cool, they eventually gave it to Loki in the MCU, right? Like in not Love and Thunder, in Ragnarok, and then in the Loki TV series, they give him the horns from the comics because that's just the best look. And it's also like Loki in the books is just like, in the comics, like especially in the Young Avengers era, is just the fucking best, and I fucking love him so much. Like he's one of my favorite characters in Marvel. Like my top 5 characters would be like Cyclops, honestly Billy, then Loki, and Peter, and then probably Wolverine, then Miles, like as like a distant 6th. But like yeah, like it's or not at this close 6th. But yeah, Loki in Young Avengers is the fucking best, and he's just so awesome. He's so cool, but he's such a fucking whiner though. Like but that's the thing. That's what makes him awesome. And there's this panel of Loki, like I won't spoil it, but if you've read Young Avengers and you remember the ending and how it like shattered Tumblr because it was so fucking sad. Loki looking at his phone, like Loki checking his phone at the very end, and he just kind of smiles, and it's like, fuck's sake, it's so sad. But it's a beautiful ending. Like Young Avengers is such a fucking awesome book. Also, Loki was the reason why I paint my nails. Loki's the reason why I painted my nails black all the time, because like Loki has black. Loki painted his fingernails black. Loki's fucking cool. But yeah. Anyway, that Young Avengers, read it. It's really good, especially if you like Tumblr-esque stories. Read it. It's good. 10 out of 10. The next book, we're going to separate it. We're going to do a DC book. The next book on my list, Superman, but specifically All-Star Superman. If you've ever been curious why Superman's my favorite superhero in general, and why I love him so much, and why people love Superman, and why Superman is like really OP, and why Superman is super powerful, but yet people still like to read about him. All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison with art by Frank Whiteley. The art definitely takes a second to get used to, but Frank Whiteley's art is kind of perfect for this book. Clark is still like they nail it because like he is like a god essentially. So Superman in this book, this isn't a spoiler, this is the pitch for the book. All-Star Superman is about a Superman that in order to save this ship, he has to fly really close to the sun, so he has to absorb a lot of like the sun's radiation in order to because he's right beside it. So we know Superman uses photosynthesis. I know that sounds fucking weird, but it's true. Superman is powered by the sun. I know that sounds fucking stupid, but whatever, it's Superman, right? Like, he's powered by the sun. So when he's right next to the sun, he's obviously absorbing a lot of the sun's radiation. This essentially kills him. So Superman is right next to the sun. He has to save this ship from falling into the sun. Turns out it was a plan from Lex Luthor. This accidentally supercharges his cells, so he's more powerful than he's ever been. But he tells this scientist dude who he hangs out with in this book, he's like, I feel weird. I'm so I know I'm stronger than I've ever been, but I can see the molecules in my hand and they're exploding, right? And he's like, you're dying. And Superman's like, I'm sorry, what? Right? He's like, you're dying, Clark. Right? And so essentially this book is about a Superman who realizes he's running out of time, right? He's stronger now than he's ever been, but he's running out of time. And how does Superman, this man who is literally Superman, how does he deal with the idea of running out of time? Right? And it's one of those books where it's the thing that makes you fall in love with Superman, because he doesn't get sad, right? The Superman is like, okay, so Superman's like, okay, I still have some time. I'm gonna just spend my time saving people and being Superman, because that's what I was put here to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. And it's just Superman at the end of his run, just fucking being Superman and loving Lois and being a good son to the Kents and being, Metropolis's golden boy and just being fucking awesome. And he goes through a bunch of trials, and it's just essentially Superman goes on a bunch of these little mini adventures, and it's a bunch of little mini adventures as Superman starts to kind of wind down, and it's just fucking awesome. And I know so many people are like, what about the death of Superman? So this Superman is not canon. This is not a canon Superman. This book is what they consider an Elseworld story. So it is its own continuity. It's its own separate continuity. So you don't have to know anything about anything to enjoy this. There was an All-Star Batman. We're not going to talk about All-Star Batman, because that's not important to this story. But All-Star Batman exists. It killed the All-Star line because it was supposed to be a line of books. It turns out All-Star Superman and All-Star Batman were the only books in the All-Star line because, yeah. What? Bad? I didn't say that. You said that. I didn't say that. That's crazy. I didn't say anything. It's crazy that you would say that. Death of Superman is different. Isn't it canon or canon-ish? So Death of Superman is canon. Death of Superman is where Superman dies in canon. But we find out that Superman can't die in Death of Superman, right? So in Death of Superman, we find out that Superman can't really die. He goes into something called a Kryptonian healing coma, right? So because he's like charged with the yellow energy, with the yellow energy of the sun, right? Because it's a yellow, we have a yellow sun. Krypton had a red sun. Our yellow sun's energy essentially keeps him from dying, right? So, but obviously in this book, like that's not, that it's a different continuity, so that's not how it works. But in main comics, Superman can't really die, right? I don't want to spoil the end of All-Star Superman. I will say this is where we get Superman 1 million. If you've ever seen power scaling nonsense, you have absolutely heard of Superman 1 million. Superman 1 million is... He is in a couple of other books. Superman 1 million. Look up Superman 1 million. He is essentially just Golden Superman, and he is like a fucking lot. And people have tried to do other stuff with him. The only person who can write Superman 1 million correctly is Grant Morrison, and that's because Grant Morrison is Grant fucking Morrison. He is not to be goddamn trifled with. Grant Morrison is the goddamn GOAT. When it comes to DC, if it's a Grant Morrison book, you can pretty much assume that it's going to be good, right? He's done some books that aren't great. I personally don't even know if I consider them not great. Like, Grant Morrison is just that goddamn good. Grant Morrison is DC's golden boy. Like, he is unstoppable, right? Grant Morrison is just that guy. So if you see a DC book with Grant Morrison's name on it, you can pretty much rest assured that it's probably going to be really good, right? Grant Morrison is... he's Grant Morrison. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. But yeah, Superman 1 million is in this book. Like, he's hard dude to explain. Grant Morrison's an odd dude. Kaz! Hello, everybody. Hello, Dewdrops. Welcome in. We are giving some book recommendations right now. Because we just got our birthday merch not too long ago, and within the birthday merch lies a bookmark that you could pick up right now. And that is why we are doing this little book recommendation stream, so that we can recommend some books that you could use our bookmark for. It's got a cute little bookmark charm at the end of it. It's very, very slick, very stylish. So if that's something that interests you, you should definitely check it out. Cass, thank you so much for the redirect, my dude. Thank you. What were you up to? Hang on, let me check. I can see. I have this wonderful ability that I could just check. Oh, you were playing Observation Duty, dude. Like, I've wanted to check out. I've been wanting to play Observation Duty really bad. I haven't started it yet though. Wait, Dunarists. Oh, I understand. Yeah, I was like, it was Dead by Daylight. I thought you were playing. Wait, you were playing Dead by Daylight. But it says you were playing Observation Duty. Did you switch to Dead by Daylight? He played Dead by Daylight, right? Oh, that's weird. Okay, never mind. I was wrong. Are you playing it later? Or is this am I on the right day right now? Oh, that's Kalen. Oh, Kalen's playing Observation Duty. I was like, wait, no? Yeah, because I was like, what? You played Dead by Daylight? No, you played... Oh, okay. Kalen played Observation Duty. I'm still let her see and assume, like, yeah, that's got to be Cass. Kalen was and canceled. He canceled? Wait, Cass, you were playing Dead by Daylight? Without me? That's crazy. Why would you do this? I can't believe you played Dead by Daylight without me. I'm offended. I'm offended that you would... How dare you play Dead by Daylight without me? I'm hurt. Wounded, even. I can't believe you right now. I can't believe you. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's cool. Let me know if you want to play next time. No, it's cool. It's fine. No, it's cool. It's fine. Fine. I'm not upset. I'm not hurt. That would be crazy. Wild, wacky even. Certainly not. Certainly not. We saw the new map. Okay, so I have there's a couple games that I've never gotten to play that I desperately want to play. I am just being silly, don't worry. He was like, don't worry, Dewdrops. I'm just there's a couple games that I haven't played that I want to. One of them is Dead by Daylight. I have never actually gotten to play Dead by Daylight. And I never got to play Lockdown Protocol either. And I've only played Peak one time. So there's a bunch of games that I'm like, I want to play. I didn't even get to play RV there yet. There's so many games that I haven't gotten to play yet that I'm like, damn it. I need to like schedule, I need to like get a bunch of people together and schedule these. So yeah, that is something that I want to do. But I hope that Dead by Daylight was fun. Did you guys have fun? Did you guys win? Dewdrops, did he get a big dub? Did the boys get a dub? Did he get that dub? Time to do some collabs. Apparently so. It was fun. I used to play Dead by Daylight daily. Dead by Daylight. My that game is my League of Legends, made me addicted to suffering. That's valid. He puked on people? Damn. He puked on people. I'm assuming there's context. Yeah. It was so much fun. Oh, I'm glad. He taught a teabagger a lesson. Hell yeah. Dude, listen, Dewdrops, I have to be honest with you. I would never teabag somebody. Unless. I have to be honest with you. I played a lot of Halo back in the day. Halo was my game. I was so unbelievably toxic. So incredibly toxic. He lied. Yeah, exactly. I lied. Yeah, I was very toxic. Every kill, I'd be like, boop, 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 and then I'd leave, and I just hear on the comms like, "Stop being an asshole." I'm like, sorry. You know the strat, then, of course. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Hello, Ash. Hope you're having a wonderful day or night thus far. Happy April to you. Happy April to you, John. Best wishes and regards. Dead by Daylight is really fun. Looking forward to seeing you get to play it. I hope that I get to play it. I will probably bug Cass now that I know that Cass plays. Wait, but if it was a Dunarist raid, does that mean Lucy? So Lucy was there too then, surely. Lucy plays too? I'm gonna have to bug the senpais. Lunarist, yeah, Lunarists were there too. Okay, so yeah, so it was a Dunarist stream, Dunarist that Lucy raided. Lucy raided into Cass while he was ending. Oh, okay, so he raided in and then bounced. Okay, so Lucy wasn't playing. What was Lucy doing? Hang on, let me check. No, that's Zanny. That's Rai. Wait, what was Lucy doing? Oh, Resi. Okay, he was playing Resi. Resi 9. I see. Okay, I have a confession about Resi 9. I have a confession. I don't think that we will... I did talk with management. We will not be continuing Resi 9, unfortunately. And I'm very, very bummed about it. I'll probably play it on my own. Unfortunately, there is a giant fuck-off spider at one point in the game. I haven't gotten there yet. I can't, I won't be able to play that. I have very intense arachnophobia, and everyone has told me that it's really fucking bad. So, like, that it's a very, very scary moment. So I'm like, well, yeah, I can't do that. I would just die. I would just, like, scream and not look. So yeah, it's one of those things, just can't do it. Please don't force yourself on this regard. Yeah, unfortunately, we will not be storming through the rest of Resi 9. Which is too bad, because, like, I do love Resident Evil. I am a big fan. But usually, when I'm playing Resident Evil, I'm able to, like if it gets to a scene with a giant spider, because there's some spiders in Resident Evil, like this is not new to Resident Evil, but usually when there's spiders, I'll just get somebody to play that part for me and I'll just look away, right? But obviously I can't do that when I'm fucking streaming, so that's a whole problem. I have it too. Honestly, it's not too bad, but totally understandable for you wanting to not continue it on stream. Yeah, like I just can't do it. Like I have, like it's really crippling, like arachnophobia. Like I actually can't move. So like I legit would not be able to play. Like okay, so do you guys remember they made Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles? Do you guys remember that? First of all, let me tell you, that arc was suffering. There's an arc in Demon Slayer that you probably know about. That was suffering for me. That was true pain. Like, that was like, I was watching like, no, like the whole time, like, no, Tanjiro, get him. Like, I was like stun locked for so much of that arc. And in Hinokami Chronicles, I knew that was coming. Just like, shit. And so I had to get like a friend of mine to actually beat it for me because I just couldn't do it. Yeah, this Spider Mountain. Nah. Not a fan of Spider Mountain. I do like Candy Cane Mountain though. Candy Mountain, Charlie. Yeah, Charlie. We're gonna go talk to the Leopleurodon, Charlie. Magical Leopleurodon. He's gonna show us the way. Wow, memory unlocked. Yes, memory unlocked. Anyway, enough of that. Back to our book recommendations. Also for the Lunarists and Dewdrops who have joined us, so I will quickly recap the books that we have recommended for you to check out. So in novels, we have The Secret History by Donna Tartt, If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, In My Dreams, I Hold the Knife by Ashley Winstead. Those are all dark academia stories. In My Dreams, I Hold the Knife is slightly less of a dark academia story, but it's still a dark academia story. And then for manga, we have Tokyo Ghoul by Sui Ishida. Best manga of all time. Don't at me. Blue Box by Koji Miura. Fantastic. It's like a romance manga, but also mixed with a sports manga. It's super fucking good. And then, we do book recommendations here. Hell yeah, yeah. And then, of course, Dragon Ball by Akira Toriyama. Like, the Hi, Altus. What did I do? Wait, why, what, am I in trouble? What did I do? I was like, well, uh-oh. What did I do? I just saw at Ashkariel. I'm like, wait, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? I'm sorry. Alta Senpai, what did I do? I'm scared. You're scaring me. What did I do? Oh no, he's in trouble. I know, I'm like, wait, why? Just the ominous, just at. No context. I'm like, yeah. Oh, I did say don't at me. Oh, Altus, you fucking asshole. You fucking asshole. That scared me so bad. I was like, what did I do? What did I do? I was checking my DMs and everything. I'm like, what? What did I do? You fucking asshole. I got so scared just there. I was like, wait, what did I do? What did I do? Thinking like, I was going through everything I said. I'm like, did I say something? What did I do? Did I forget something? What happened? That was so funny. I did say don't at me. Oh my god. Okay, well. Oh my me. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, since Altus is busy being hilarious. Anyway. The other manga we recommended was Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama. Obviously, the Doi. And then we recommended some comic books. So Young Avengers by Kieran Gillen with art by Jamie McLevy. It's super good. If you were a big Tumblr girly and you enjoyed superhero comics, Young Avengers is perfect. Then again, if you were a Tumblr girly, you definitely saw Young Avengers at some point. cross your feed. Like, that definitely crossed your dashboard at some point. And that leads us nicely back to where we were with All-Star Superman, which is really, really good. And All-Star Superman, 10 out of 10, very good book, highly recommended. But that leads us nicely into our third and final of the comic book recommendations. That being another Marvel book, Secret Wars, with, for some reason, Ben Grimm making this, like, face. That's the sound he's making. That's the sound that the thing is making. See, here's the thing. Anyway, Secret Wars, but specifically the 2015 one. Boo! What do you mean boo? Do not boo. Do not boo me. I am hilarious. Secret Wars, but specifically Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars. So remember what I said about Grant Morrison? How I said that Grant Morrison is like DC's golden boy? Jonathan Hickman is Marvel's golden boy, right? Jonathan Hickman is who you call in when you need to rewrite Marvel cosmology. So Jonathan Hickman also wrote another book for the X-Men called The Age of Krakoa. He also is currently writing another book for the Marvel's space characters. He also wrote a book called Gods, and this book right here, Secret Wars. So Secret Wars essentially resets the Marvel universe, but it does so in a way that is fucking bananas. And the art is by Asad Ribic. The art in this book is really pretty, but with Secret Wars, there was so much buildup. So this, when I recommend Secret Wars, I'm also kind of recommending Prelude to Secret Wars, which is like a side, like a prequel book that takes, that's just kind of sets up Secret Wars. And if you could pick up any of the tie-ins for Secret Wars, you definitely should, because all the tie-ins are incredibly good. Secret Wars is essentially there's these creatures called the Beyonders. They are creating these things called incursions. Incursions are when two Earths, so so imagine you looked up in the sky and there was another Earth up there and it was slowly heading towards you. Incursions are when two Earths collide, and the Earths colliding causes that universe to cease to exist. So when the two Earths collide, the universe itself is erased. Now, the pitch for Secret Wars is that there is a group of characters in the Marvel universe called the Illuminati, right? And that being Tony Stark, Professor X, Namor, Mr. Fantastic, and I'm definitely forgetting somebody. No. Oh, and Black Bolt. And Doctor Strange. And so they have been protecting Earth 616 from other invading Earths, right? It's not that the Earths are purposely invading, it's that the Beyonders are forcing them to collide. This is how we lost the Ultimate Universe, right? Yes. So in the incursion that eventually takes out Earth 616, which is the main Marvel Comics universe, Earth 616 collides with the Ultimate Universe, essentially ending the Ultimate Universe and also 616 as we knew it, but 616 comes back. The Ultimate Universe also comes back, but not really. It kind of does, but not really. But yeah, the Ultimate Universe in the comics is destroyed at the beginning of Secret Wars. And so is every other universe. And the only people that are left in the multiverse is Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom, and Molecule Man. You guys know Molecule Man, right? You guys love Molecule Man? Yeah, you guys know Molecule Man. He's the best. Yeah, Molecule Man. Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, everybody's favorite comic book character, Molecule Man. He's actually really awesome. I'm kind of short selling him right now. Molecule Man's great. But they essentially kill the Beyonders, and Doctor Doom takes all of that power, the Beyonders' power, into himself, and recreates the universe. But the problem is that there's so many multiverses that died, right? So what Doctor Doom does is he pulls the Marvel multiverse back together, but he puts it onto one Earth called Battle World, right? And Battle World is essentially a planet with one continent. Or no, I think there's two continents, but like essentially it's one continent. That like there's one continent that matters, and then there's another one that's just like fucked up and awful and terrible, and we don't talk about that. But like this main continent is where Doctor Doom lives, and all these different sections of this planet are made up of little like countries that are the different multiverses within the Marvel comic. I almost said the MCU. Within Marvel Comics, right? The reason why I'm recommending Secret Wars is because this is absolutely where the MCU is going. So the MCU has been setting up Secret Wars very quietly in the background, and about as subtle as a jackhammer. So what essentially happens is that the multiverse dies, and Doctor Doom saves it by essentially piecing it back together. So there's these walls that separate each territory. So there's like a territory that's like Marvel. Hang on. Let me look up all the different Secret Wars territories, I guess. Let's see. Secret Wars. No. Secret Wars. Lands? I don't know what you call it. Map? Maybe I can find a map of it. Ah, here we go. Okay. Okay, so this is maybe I can even show it on screen. Hang on. So this is, if I can pull it up. Yeah, okay. So let me pull it up because it's fucking I'm not just gonna like list them off. I'll like pull it up on screen. So this is a map of Battle World. Oh, it's very small. This is Battle World. This is what Battle World looks like. So Battle World consists of many different places. So there's Greenland, which is a place made up of Hulks. The main character in this is actually Steve Rogers. We're not going to talk about that. There's Dystopia, the Domain of Apocalypse, Egyptia, Technopolis, Spiderland, the Regency, King James's England, Weird World, Kunlun, Utopolis, New Mars, Higher Avalon, Arachnia, Marvel. We never go here, it's fine. The Eye of Agamotto, Manhattan, The City, Warzone, New Quack City, The Far East, The Valley of Flame, The Hydra Empire, 2099, Hala Field, The Monarchy of M, Sentinel Territories, The Wastelands, Mutopia, Westchester, Killville, Arcadia, Bar Sinister, Limbo, The Deadlands, Perfection, New Xandar, and The Wall. So yeah, this is what it looks like. So essentially, if I could describe Secret Wars, it's what if... Hang on, there we go. Secret Wars is what if we put all the coolest things about Marvel's extended, like, multiverse, and then we were like, okay, so it's Marvel's extended universe, but what if it was like that with, like, so what if it was Marvel's multiverse mixed with Game of Thrones? And that is Secret Wars. Secret Wars is Marvel's extended multiverse mixed with Game of Thrones. Thor, and so the Thor Corps is a thing that is introduced in this. And the Thor Corps are essentially the peacekeepers of Doctor Doom's empire, and are essentially the Night's Watch, right? The Thor Corps is made up of Thors from across the multiverse, including Thunderstrike from MC2, which you guys know MC2 is my favorite. So Thunderstrike from MC2 is like the new guy. He's like the ride-along character. He's fucking awesome. Every time I hear Westchester, I imagine some random town in the Northeast just chilling here amongst the kingdoms. Well, one of the kingdoms in this that is really cool is the city. And the city is, or sorry, Westchester. It's Westchester. Westchester is, I'm pretty sure it's Westchester, is essentially what if Marvel's Civil War never ended? So it's an area where the Marvel's Civil War, like the comic book, just kept going. Captain America never surrendered, and the Civil War just kept going on for years and years and years. And that's the pitch for that world, and it's fucking cool, right? But like the Secret War's main event is mostly about the different heroes surviving the end of the multiverse, re-emerging on Battleworld and wondering what the fuck happened, right? And Doctor Doom is like, no. Because Doctor Doom sees Reed and is like, no, fuck that, no. Like when he sees Reed, he's like, absolutely not. So really, Secret Wars is supposed to be like Marvel across the board, this big Marvel event. It's secretly a Fantastic Four event. It's actually about the Fantastic Four. Right? But that's okay. Because the Fantastic Four is fucking awesome. So yeah, it's a super good book. Highly recommended. It's bananas. It's like Game of Thrones meets Marvel, and it's fucking awesome, and you should read it, and it's great. And of course, while reading it, be sure to use our brand new bookmark that you can get by checking out the link in the pinned comment there. You can check out that link, get yourself a bookmark that you can read along and use the bookmark while reading. Yes, very good. Okay, but I also have a couple bonus recommendations for you as well. So the first of the bonus recommendations, let's go back to novels for a little bit. Let's go back to some novels. I'm going to recommend The Hunger Games. But I am going to recommend The Hunger Games in a really roundabout way. So I'm recommending The Hunger Games. If you've only seen the movies, I do recommend the books. The movies are great, but the books are just a little bit better. And if you haven't read The Hunger Games like as a series, I highly recommend it. I will add that I have not read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, nor have I read Sunrise on the Reaping yet. So don't ask me about it, right? I've only seen the movies. Mind you, Sunrise on the Reaping hasn't come out yet, but I do plan to read Sunrise on the Reaping pretty soon. Right? There's something coming up that I'm like, oh, that'll be the perfect time for me to read that. So I do plan to read it sometime this summer, right? I'll plan to read Sunrise on the Reaping. But for now, I can highly recommend the initial Hunger Games trilogy. There is a reason why I always tell people that my favorite character in the first book is actually Cato. And I think that always throws people off because they're like, Cato? I'm like, yep, he's the best. Fucking love Cato. So I love Cato. Cato's the best. Cato, my son. Cato, my psychopathic, bloodthirsty son. He's the best. I love him. And yeah, I highly recommend The Hunger Games. It is, for anyone who doesn't know, The Hunger Games is a dystopia novel. I don't know why I'm explaining The Hunger Games like you don't know what it is. Has anyone here not heard of The Hunger Games? And what rock have you been living under? Just curious. Like, does anyone not know what The Hunger Games is? I have a feeling everybody has probably heard of it. Heard of it, but never got into it. Okay, that's fair. So The Hunger Games is essentially about this world where it's like post-apocalyptic and it's set in this country of Panem. And Panem is separated into districts, right? So the different districts do different things, and our main character Katniss comes from District 12, and District 12 is mostly known for being like the district that does coal. All right, they're the district that manages the coal and like the fuel for Panem, right? Each district does something different. Like District 12 is coal. District 1 is being fucking rich. Each district does something. There's wood, there's they're mining, there's forestry, there's tech, there's all sorts of stuff, right? But the big thing for Hunger Games is that each of the districts has kind of its own identity, but each district has to nominate, or rather sacrifice essentially, one boy and one girl every year to participate in the Hunger Games. And in the the Hunger Games, essentially it is a fight to the death where only one winner can survive. And this has been happening for, at the time of the first book, 74 games. There is one game a year. So for 74 years, the Hunger Games has been going on. And that's where we arrive at our 74th games with Katniss and another character by the name of Peeta Mellark, who is the fucking best. But yeah, Peeta is the best, and we love him, but he's the fucking GOAT. And then there's Katniss, who is, I'm gonna just say this, the best protagonist in a YA novel. Full stop. I don't think it gets better than Katniss. I think Katniss is the fucking best. I don't think there's ever been a protagonist who I've ever been like Katniss is the personification of, like, if Katniss and I were to be in like a meme together, right? I'd be like, I think we're gonna have to kill these guys, Katniss. Damn. Like, Katniss has already got the bow pointed at them. You know, damn. It's like, I think we're gonna have to kill these guys, Katniss. Damn. With the bow already drawn. That's Katniss. Katniss is just locked in, ready to go, you know? Katniss don't take no shit, okay? I love the Hunger Games so much. Best dystopian-like novels. Straight up. I will say, I will also recommend that there is other books in the YA genre that are very fun. I will also recommend Twilight, because Twilight's fun. Please do not go into Twilight expecting high-class literature, okay? Twilight is silly, and it's fun, and it's fun, and it's silly. Please read Twilight. I love Twilight. It is silly, and it's fun, and it's fun, and it's silly. And I will also recommend Maze Runner, because Maze Runner is pretty fucking awesome. So I'll also recommend Maze Runner as well. Also, I never see anybody talk about this. I never read the book. I only saw the movie, but The Host was a really good movie, so maybe it's a really good book. I don't know. I liked The Host. I thought The Host was really fun. I honestly think I'm too old for Twilight. There's no such thing as too old for Twilight. I know that it's like YA, and people are like, oh, I'm too old. You're never too old for a YA book. Straight up. Never. Like, you're never too old to read young adult. You're still an adult. You can read YA. It's fine. What can you say about Divergent, Ash? Divergent was written over the course of a break from the author was on break from college for like a week, and they wrote Divergent, and that's a lot of writing in a short span of time. That's very impressive. You know, that's a really impressive feat. So, however I feel about it, like, you have to give them credit. That's a lot of writing in the span of a week. So, very well done. That's impressive? Yes, it is. That is very impressive. He's so diplomatic. That does say a lot. Yeah, it does. Yeah, like, that's a very talented skill. Have you ever read Raven Boys? No, I haven't. I will say we will. I'm gonna save recommendations from Marimomie's for the end. So we are gonna, like, I will take recommendations. And we will talk recommendations, but we're going to do that at the very end. But Hunger Games, yes, read it. It's so good. We only really get Hunger Games books. I'm going to say this very diplomatically. We get Hunger Games books from Suzanne Collins at very specific times in our world. So, yeah. If there's a Hunger Games book, It's I mean, things are probably not going the greatest, but that's okay. So if we've got Hunger Games books, it means Suzanne Collins got something to say, and Suzanne can talk to me whenever, because Suzanne's the fucking GOAT. So there you go. Hunger Games is like one of the best dystopian novels. It's one of the best YA novels. The characters are amazing. The world building is so interesting. And it's just an inherently entertaining book because of the death game element. If you like death games, if you're like a Danganronpa fan, or you like if you like The Long Walk, or Battle Royale, you'll probably like the Hunger Games. It's really, really cool. So really highly recommended. But the next of our bonus recommendations is, we're going back to manga for this one. This one is a bit of a weird one. We're going with Death Note Akira. So this is a weird one. So we're not going with OG Death Note, because I feel like if you've probably already read Death Note, you probably liked it. This is a weird one. This is a weird pick. This is why it's in the bonus ones. This is my favorite one-shot ever. Whether that's short story... This is my favorite short story in general. Like, this is my favorite one-shot of all time. This book is so... Like, I say book. It's literally just, like, a very, very long chapter. But it's very good. Obviously by Sugumi Oba and Takeshi Obata, the original manga duo who did Death Note. And it is like, so it's the same Death Note team. It literally picks up. It is a straight up sequel to Death Note. It features my boy Minoru, who is the smartest character in Death Note. Maybe not the most intelligent, but by far the smartest character in all of Death Note. Akira is the smartest motherfucker in all the land. And he is just the fucking best. I remember when this came out, and I was like, who is this, like, modern era fuckboy looking guy? Please tell me this guy's not going to be Kira, because he literally looks like a fuckboy. I was like, who is this guy? Minoru is my favorite Death Note character. He is the best. He is so goddamn smart. And the way he plays the world in this is so clever. He's just the man. He's the man. The ending is... I'll say I found the ending a little unsatisfying. It's a little unsatisfying, but at the same time, I'm like, but it couldn't have ended any other way. You know, like, it had to end that way. Goat is not enough for this man. Yeah. The original Ryuk design, though, like, I'll say, like, Ryuk in this is... He's still Ryuk. He's still funny. He's still Ryuk. He's not in it as much as you'd expect, though, right? But every time he's on the page, he's great. It is collected in a Death Note short stories collection where it's Akira, I think that's C-Kira, and then there is like some short stories with L as well. So it is a collected. You can read this physically. It is in a collected form in Death Note short stories. I didn't read C-Kira, so I don't know much about what happens there. L is the man, and his little, like, side adventures are great, and you should check them out. But yeah, so that is... so the way I can explain it, I don't really want to tell you too much about it. The art is still amazing. The writing is still fire. All I can say is it is a sequel to Death Note that does something with the Death Note that I would have never thought about. It is so clever that I was stunned to silence. Like, I love Death Note. This had me stunned. Like, I was legitimately like, that is so clever. Right? Like, I couldn't believe how clever he was. It was so original. It was, yeah. Like, Minoru is my favorite Death Note character for a reason. Like, and keep in mind, like, Minoru came out so long after the series had been done. I had so much longer to be nostalgic for and close to the older characters. And nostalgia should usually overpower recency bias. But Minoru is my GOAT. It's been, so this came out in, I think, 2020? I think this came out, like, in February 2020. I think so. And this, like, so it's been a hot minute since we last, like, had heard from Death Note. And it's been a hot minute since this came out, right? So I still think even after, like, what, 6 years? 6 years later? Minoru is still my favorite. Like, he's my favorite character. Please read Death Note Akira. It's so incredibly good, and it's just like, it might be my favorite part of Death Note. Like, I do love Death Note, I really do, but this is probably my favorite thing to come out of Death Note. Like, it was such a fun surprise because I really didn't know what to expect from it. It was just so interesting. And the last book I am going to recommend is we're going to be jumping back to comic books, and we're going to be jumping back to DC for the best Batman story of all time, Court of Owls. Batman, the Court of Owls. But Ash, what is the Court of Owls? I will tell you, Marimomies. Batman, the Court of Owls is the best fucking Batman story that's ever been written. If there is one man who could challenge Grant Morrison as being DC's golden boy, why, it would certainly be Scott Snyder, and especially when he's teamed up with Greg Capullo, who does the artwork here. They are an unbelievable match. My favorite Batman run starts here. So my favorite run for Batman is Scott Snyder's run. He is just straight up Batman. Like, there's no nonsense. You know what else I love too? He's not a dick. I know that's gonna sound very weird to some of you, but Bruce isn't a fucking asshole. You know, like, and I know that, like, that sets the bar really low for Batman stories. Bruce isn't an asshole for no reason to his sons. Bruce cares about his sons. He cares about his boys. What a fucking crazy concept. But yeah, the Bat family is here. They are not utilized exceptionally well in this. I will say Bruce does punch Dick Grayson in the fucking jaw in this story, but there is a reason for it. Bruce is like a good dad, right? Like, yeah, Bruce is a good dad. I hated when he started calling... There's a really good video that I saw, like, very recently, like, just before, I think, like, literally last night, where it's by Panda Red, who's a great comic book, like, TikTok guy. And Panda talked about how he really hates that after The Dark Knight Returns, Bruce basically only referred to his boys as good soldiers. And I'm like, yeah, I hate that shit. Right? Bruce taking in the Robins as, like, his good soldiers is really, really weird. Right? Soldiers in the war against crime. I hate that. That is not Batman to me. Batman takes in the Robins because he doesn't want them to end up like him. Right? That's why he takes them in. Right? And Panda has so many good takes. Panda's always really on point. And in this, so the pitch for Batman Court of Owls is Batman knows Gotham pretty well at this point, I'd say. Gotham is Batman City, you know? I don't think there's much that happens in Gotham that Batman doesn't know about. It would be really crazy if there was maybe some sort of organization that Batman was not aware of. It would be really crazy if there was an organization that Batman was not aware of that existed for hundreds of years. It would be crazy if this organization suddenly decided they were tired of Batman. It would be really crazy if Batman stumbled into a conspiracy and had to fight his way from the depths of hell all the way back up to the heights of Gotham City and save Gotham from the very creatures that created it. And it is fucking awesome, right? It is, like, Court of Owls is just so goddamn cool. Ain't Gotham already hell? Yeah. Yes, it is. I hate when people take the whole Dick is the greatest achievement and Jason is his greatest failure. Jason is Batman's greatest failure, I guess, but, like, it's not like Jason specifically is his greatest failure. Letting Jason die is Batman's greatest failure, because that is 100% Batman's fault, right? It's also Jason's fault too. Jason was being stupid, right? But Jason dying was Bruce's greatest, like, failure. But like, to say that Jason is a failure and all that, I'm like, no, I don't like that. I will say, Jason has been a little too chummy with the Bat family lately. I'm not loving that, right? Like, because I'm like, he's supposed to be the black sheep of the family, but they're like, yeah, like Jason, let's call Jason. Let's ask Jason for help. And I'm like, stop that. Like, stop it. He's supposed to be the black sheep. You know, like, he's not supposed to be like, because for anyone who doesn't know, when Jason came back as Red Hood, he fucking murdered people. Like, Jason no longer agrees with Bruce, right? Jason uses, like, guns, which is so anti-Batman, right? Jason uses guns and will kill a bitch. Like, Jason does not give a shit, right? And yeah, like, it's something that I'm like, that should put him at odds with the Bat family, but it so rarely does. And now they're like, no, well, he uses non-lethal pellets now. And I'm like, that's so stupid. That's so dumb. I hate that. It's so dumb. Like, he should still be like a member of the Bat family, but like a distant member of the Bat family, right? He's still Batman's son, and Batman desperately wants to save Jason, but Jason no longer agrees with Bruce's methods, right? Jason's dynamic with the family is in such a weird place. It really is. Let my boy go about his crime in peace. Exactly, yeah, let my boy do crime in peace. And I've seen people be like, Jason should be the Punisher. I'm like, well, no. let's not take it that far. Let's not go that far with it. Right? Like, I don't want Jason to become the Punisher. Right? But like, yeah, no, I think Jason is in kind of a weird place right now. You guys know I could talk about Batman for like a really long time. So Court of Owls, 0 Year is pretty good. Endgame is really good. Like, this whole run for Batman is just really, really cool. And this also would eventually dovetail into Batman Metal and then Dark Knight's Death Metal, right? Like, would eventually spawn out of this, right? One of the coolest takes on the Joker, Death in the Family also happens during this run. One of the coolest takes on Joker ever is from this, right? Like, where, like, Dionysium comes from this, right? Like, a lot of, like, recent Batman stuff comes out of this. The Court of Owls is probably the most deranged, insane group of villains I have ever seen. And the idea that they essentially are the true kings of Gotham is crazy to me. My stomach will not stop growling. Shut up. It is such a cool twist on Batman. I could gush about Batman for like a really long time. The whole Court of Owls thing is my favorite. It's such a cool idea. The Illuminati, but worse. Yeah, exactly. They're like Marvel's Illuminati, but so much worse. But yeah, the whole Court of Owls thing is great. So the court also sends out these things called Talons. The Talons are the things that Bruce fights at one point, and the Talons are fucking crazy. I won't go into what the Talons are, but they are nuts, right? Batman really, and when so Batman's had some close calls over the years, right? Bane broke Batman's back. Batman almost got killed by Darkseid. Batman's had some close calls. Nothing, and I mean nothing, has put Batman through the ringer like the Court of Owls. I have never seen Batman in such a desperate, broken place than during the Court of Owls. I have never seen him like this, right? Like, it is, like, he goes through it in ways that I have never seen Batman go through it. His villain is the Joker, and I have never seen Batman go through it the way he goes through it in this book. It is, like, brutal, the stuff that the court does to him. It is fucked up, but like, Batman goes through it because he's goddamn Batman, you know? Because he's the goddamn Batman. Also, another book that spawns out of this that is very underrated. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Hang on, I'm gonna see if I can find it. Hang on. Yes. Okay, hang on. I gotta show you guys the cover of this because you're not gonna believe this. This is my most underrated run for Batman, with two of my favorite Batman characters. Like, hang on. Yes, hang on. Batman Super Heavy. Super Heavy is So you might be wondering, is that a bat mech? Is Batman holding a gun? That is not Bruce. That is not Jason. That is Commissioner Gordon. The bat mech is something that Gordon can jump inside, or it can be his partner, because it has an AI in it, so it's like a little robot buddy called Rookie. Rookie is one of my favorite Batman characters of all time. I fucking love Rookie. Rookie is the best. I love Rookie. I wish they kept Rookie around. Rookie is still around, but he's not used as much. Rookie is fucking awesome. Commissioner Gordon is Batman during this time. He fights a guy called Mr. Bloom, who is like this weird... This is another reason why I really don't like sunflowers. Hang on. Mr. Bloom. Oh, he's upsetting. Oh, he's so creepy. Oh, I just don't like him. Okay, hang on. I will show you Mr. Bloom. I do not like it. I do not like Mr. Bloom. I do not like him. This is Gordon's antagonist. This is Gordon's... Like, when I think of, like, this era of Batman, like, Mr. Bloom is upsetting. This is Mr. Bloom. Hang on. This is Mr. Bloom. I do not like him. He scares me. I am not a fan of Mr. Bloom. He is upsetting. He's a sunflower man. And he is very upsetting. He's essentially, what if Slender Man was a sunflower? Nope. You guys know how I feel about sunflowers. Nope. But he's got weird long fingers. Ew. Ew. I don't like it. It is awesome. Please read that whole run of Batman. It is all really good. Like from Court of Owls all the way to, I think it ends with Super Heavy. Hang on. Every arc in Scott Snyder's... Wait, is it... Yeah. I'm thinking of Zack... I was like, wait, Zack Snyder. Scott Snyder's Batman. So, okay. Let me see. Court of Owls, Death in the Family, Zero Year, Batman Eternal, Super Heavy, and then the ending. Yeah. Which then leads into the Dark Multiverse, which then leads into his Justice League run, which leads into Death Metal. Yeah. Yeah. It's just... Like, if you want to get into DC, I think that one of the best ways is through Scott Snyder's run, because it's so good. Also, there's a lot of good, like, Green Lantern stuff that you can read. Green Lantern's really cool. People don't. Jeff Johns does a lot of, like, really cool Green Lantern stuff you should check out as well. But yeah, those are all my recommendations. We don't have a lot of time left. Actually, I don't think we have any time at all. Hang on, let me check. We have a little bit of time. We're gonna push it to the limit. We're gonna push it to the limit. So please do give me your recommendations now. And Susu, thank you so much for the 1 month. 1 month, yippee. That's 1 month together. I hope you've enjoyed our time together, Susu. Have you seen any of the Menchie stuff? Because I hope it's been worth your while. I hope it's worth being a member of the Marimomie flight training. Thank you for the book recs. Thank you for the book recommendations. I'll definitely check them out. Oh, thank you guys. I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the recommendations. I hope that I gave you some good ideas for stuff to use the bookmark for. I hope you guys do check out the bookmark. It is linked. It is linked in the pinned comment there. Beastars, love Beastars so much. The world building in this manga never ceases to amaze me, but it has so few fans just because I think they look at the cover and think, ew, furry. To be fair, that is a big reason why I can't really get into Beastars. Like, I have tried a couple times. It is very... the anime was very good. By Studio Orange. Do we have to tag you to recommend books? I have to go, but I wanted to share some books. I mean, we don't really have a tag for it. But like, if you have time to type it, you could just like hit me with it. Gachiakuta manga is a very interesting one. I've heard good things about it. Like, I've heard a lot of people talking about it. It's something that I should check out at some point. It was a nice chill stream while I got some drawing done. Oh, I'm glad, Artistic. I'm glad. Ashkariel Rex. I forget that that's a thing. It's not like an official hashtag. I don't really, unfortunately, check Ashkariel Rex a whole lot because I kind of forget it's a thing a lot. Infernal Devices, little off from what we discussed here, but a good starter into the steampunk genre without going full in. I've heard good things about Infernal Devices. Like, I've heard good things about it. If you like the Hunger Games, I would recommend the Legend Trilogy. It was from a long time ago. I remember liking it very much, especially the first book. I'll have to check it out. The Legend Trilogy. Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot Steal the Galaxy. Please, it's so good. Okay, I'll have to check it out. I like any like Rocket Raccoon and Groot story. So, let's see. Happy late birthday. Please check the 3-body problem. Okay, Marmar, the 3-body problem. All right. I'm gonna watch the VOD back and be like, okay, what did they recommend? I'm gonna check this out. Iron Widow. Isn't Iron Widow... Hang on. Iron Widow. Yep. Yeah, I know Iron Widow. Okay, so I haven't read it yet, but it's been on my TBR for a while. So I do plan to check out Iron Widow at some point. For anyone who's curious, the novel is a mecha reimagining of the rise of China's first and only female emperor, Wu Zetian, at the start of the Huaxia, nation of Huaxia, a futuristic reinterpretation of medieval China. Sold! I was like, that sounds awesome! I'm in! Yeah, sold! I was like, what? It's got mechs? I'm in. That sounds fucking cool. Like, I am in. The reinterpretation is good. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, the second I knew the author from like TikTok and YouTube, so I was like, oh, no way, they wrote a book? That's cool. So yeah, I was like, that's sick. B, thank you so much for the 3 months, by the way. 3 months with the sweetest angel. Ignore my profile picture. Eh? That's not me. B, what is this profile picture? You have another Oshis now? You out here with other Oshis? That's not me. Now, B. You're not seeing other VTubers, are you? You're not watching other VTubers when you could be hanging out with me, right? Right. B. I'm just kidding. You're the most jealous man I know. You know other men? That's literally, yeah, this is literally me. You know other men? Green Arrow, the longbow hunters. That's good shout. Green Arrow 2023 is also really good. I'll shush with the Rex. Now, don't shush with the Rex. The last book I want to recommend is Sujimura Mizuki's Lonely Castle in the Mirror. The cover says it's 13 plus, but I liked it. I might be younger than wait, what? I might be younger than I actually am. Excuse me? Rex the Unholy. Some of my fave novels are Nosferatu by Joe Hill. Oh, like spelt funny, I get it. Confessions by Kane Minato, Last Days by Adam Neville, and Iron Widow by Shiren J. Zhao. I have to read Iron Widow. I'm seeing so many people talk about Iron Widow lately. I'll have to get into it. But thank you so much for the lovely offering, Rex. I appreciate it. Thank you. What a good Marimomie you are. Ed Death, thank you for being a very good Marimomie yourself. Thank you. I will never stop recommending D. Greyman. The characters are written so well and the art is stunning. It's got shonen, horror, suspense, and mystery. All right. D. Greyman. I shall add it to my list. Project Hail Mary is peak. I had been wanting to read Project Hail Mary for so long, and then the trailer spoiled the damn twist. It's like, damn it. Appy, thank you so much for a lovely offering to your new god. Sorry this isn't related to today's stream. Don't be sorry. Thank you so much for featuring me in yesterday's stream. I wanted to thank you directly, so even though it's a bit late. Appy, that's so sweet. Thank you, Appy. I loved the game. I got a pretty high score, Appy. I'll have you know. I got a pretty high score myself. It was one of the coolest things I had ever seen was like the fact that like you had made a game, you know? Like I'd never expected to see that. So like getting to play a game that was, you know, based off myself and the Marimomies and Lamentus, it was so cool. I will never not love that. That was so amazing, and I adored it so much. So thank you, Appy. I really appreciate that. Oh, Zeal, thank you so much for the lovely offering to your new god. I said it twice already, but I'll say it again. Please read Land of the Lustrous. It's beautifully melancholic. Also, Ichi the Witch, my favorite magic system. I've read a little bit of Ichi the Witch. I will say that. I did read a little bit of it. I did fall behind, but I did like Ichi the Witch quite a bit. I'll say that, Zeal. I did enjoy Ichi the Witch quite a bit. But thank you for such a lovely offering to your new god. And Melissa, thank you for the 4 months as well. I will always recommend One Piece to everybody. I was going to recommend One Piece, but the only reason why I didn't include it in the recommendations is just because One Piece is very long, so you have to be prepared for a lot of reading. But One Piece is worth it, so I will say that, Melissa. One Piece is very much worth it. It is a lot, though. And thank you so much for the 4 months. Thank you. What a good Marimomie you are. Desk Sama, thank you for the lovely offering to your new god as well. Thank you for the recommendations. I'll try to find these books. I got a question, bud. Being your desk was going to be a one-day bit, but now I'm stuck for 14 days. Should I stick to the bit or reveal who I am? Your choice. I know who you are, Desk Sama. I already know who you are for the record. I figured it out. I was a detective about it. I figured out who I figured it out pretty quick. I figured it. I was like, Say it. You're Lilla. That's Lilla. I was like, I haven't seen Lilla. That's got to be Lilla. It's got to be Lilla. 100%. Say it. Wrong? I am not wrong. There's no way I'm wrong. JK, it's me. I was like, there's no shot I'm wrong. Okay, good. I'm not wrong. I was like, am I wrong? Am I wrong? You're gonna look at me, you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Am I wrong? She wore a crown and came down on a bubble, Doug. I was like, am I wrong? Am I wrong? The desk bit is so funny, though. I do love Desk Sama a lot. And Chels, thank you for such a lovely offering to your new god. I was going to recommend Babel, but I'm glad it got a special mention already. It has its flaws, but I enjoyed the theme of language as a weapon of oppression. Lots of sensitive topics, but I find them necessary for historical discourse. That's the thing with Babel. Babel, like I said, is like, it's a little hard to recommend because it's very intense with its themes, but it's only intense with its themes because it has to be, you know? So, personally speaking, I think Babel is, like, incredible, and I will typically recommend everybody at least give it a read at some point, because especially if you're a Dark Academia fan, because it's incredibly good, and the magic system is so cool. But yeah, I agree with you, Chels. I agree with you. And thank you for being such a good Marimomie for me. Thank you. Edwin, thank you for being such a good Marimomie for me as well. The Shard Lake series by CJ Sansom. It's historical fiction about a lawyer in the Tudor era of England, full of mystery, and he has to play the part of a detective. Highly recommend. Ooh, okay. Kenwin, okay. I'm curious. You have my curiosity. I'm gonna have to check that out then. Okay. I do like Tudor era England as like a setting for stories. So yeah, okay. I'll add that to my list. Thank you, thank you. I am definitely curious. Watashi ni narimasu. Leon, thank you for 4 months. Thanks for the book recommendations. I loved Babel. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you love Babel. Babel's so good. Like I said, Babel's very, very good. But yeah, I am happy to hear that. And Rex, thank you for the lovely offering to your new god as well. For manga, I have to rep some of my underrated faves, so I'd like to recommend Smoking Parade, Non-Baka, Hell's Paradise, Pet Shop of Horrors, and Rose and Blood. Ooh, okay, lots of recommendations there. Okay, I'll have to check it out. I'm excited to read it after you talked about it on stream. Oh, Weiss, I'm glad. But yeah, Rex, I will absolutely have to check those out. You should play A Date with Death visual novel, just saying. I think that's the one that Shiki played. I will recommend something to you. Do you want to know a show that I love that nobody else on the planet seems to love the way that I do? Everyone else seems to be like, it's so slow. It's so boring. I'm like, that's the point. That's the point. It's a series called Aka 13. And the only time I've ever seen it get any love is there was a cover done by by a certain boy and a certain girl, and they did a cover of the opening, like watch your back, attack is on the way, so feel around with the cards you play. Conspiracies indefinite, never fooled, gotta stay cool, smoke another cigarette. Like Aka 13. Aka 13. ACCA. Aka 13. Aka. Yeah. Aka 13 is one of those series. It has an anime by Madhouse. The anime is incredible. And nobody talks about it. And that blows my mind because it's one of the most beautiful series I've ever seen. It is so beautifully stunning. And nobody talks about it. And it breaks my heart because it's so good. I'd like to recommend the Temerare series by Naomi Novik, aka my childhood book series. The setting is Napoleon Wars, but with dragons. Ooh, Nita. Well, first of all, Nita, thanks for being such a good Marimomie for me. Appreciate you. And I am very intrigued by that premise. That sounds awesome. I love, like, it's historical fiction, but with a magic element to it. I'm like, ooh, like, I always love that kind of thing. But, Marimomies, I'm afraid we have to begin to wrap up here. We're talking books, first time here. I'm so sorry. Ray's sleeping. I'm so sorry. We were talking books. We were talking about books, but the VOD will be here for you to check out. We had, a bunch of recommendations. Then we had the Marimomies making recommendations. There was a lot going on. There was a lot. Let's see here. Oh my goodness, they're playing Slay the Spire without me. We're not going to do Moss Raid. We are going to do a cheeky raid. Also, it seems I have the ability to actually, like, see people's streams again. What book do you hate the most? I don't hate books. If I don't like something, I won't read it. I'll watch the... Yeah, I'm so sorry, sleeping. I'm so sorry. But what I will say is I appreciate everybody so much for jumping in and hanging out with us today. It's been a really, really fun stream. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. Let's see. Also, before I forget, I do want to say a big thank you to Saku as well. I'm obligated to recommend the Umineko manga again. Also, next dinner date with the Ash standee will have We'll be having Japanese curry. Let's go! Saku, what a very good Marimomie you are. Oh, what a wonderful Marimomie you are. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Mari Lunar Drop Raid? Mari Lunar Drop Raid is a crazy... That's the Mari Lunar Drop Raid. That's such a cool name. Mari Lunar Drop Raid is crazy. So the raid message is going to be without Ash, all caps. All caps. Without Ash. Hang on. This is the raid message. Without Ash, I can't believe those two motherfuckers would play Slay the Spire without me. Marimomies, I have an obsession, and my obsession's name is Slay the Spire. I haven't played it on stream because I've been playing it offline. Oh my god. Slay the friggin' Spire, and they would dare play that shit without me? Those motherfuckers, bro. I'm furious with them right now. So we are going to redirect over there and hit them with a without Ash? Without Ash? You were invited? No, I wasn't. I never got an invite. Leron invited you yesterday? No, he didn't. When did he do that? I don't remember that at all. In chat? I do not remember this at all. I have no memory of this. You were probably gone by then. Yeah, he said it. He saw you were busy. He could. I would have dropped everything. That's crazy. You were in chat. I wasn't. Like just because I'm in chat for 5 seconds doesn't mean I'm there the whole time. Like I'm not there the whole time. I'm gone. I'm busy. So no, that's still the raid message without Ash. He should have messaged me. That he should have messaged me directly. That's crazy. I'm furious. Furious. He said if you were up to it after the stream, you're welcome to join. I have no memory of that. I have no memory. I'm sure he said that. I just was not there. So yeah, we're gonna without Ash. I wasn't there. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that part of the stream. I don't remember that at all. We're gonna throw an Ash temper tantrum right now. Watch Ash join them immediately. You think I won't? All right, anyway, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Until next time. Oh, don't forget, if you want to pick up a bookmark to do that reading, to read the recommendations I gave, go ahead and check out that link in the pinned comment. I'm really excited about the merch. I'm very proud of it, so I really hope that you guys are considering picking up the merch. And the April Fool's Day VP is also really fun. And there's other stuff that I'm excited about, but I'm not going to tell you about that yet. Anyway, until next time, go grab yourself a little slice of heaven, raise a little hell while you do so, and I'll see you later. What? Oh my gosh, what? Sneaky secrets. Okay, bye!